terrifying ocean, which doesn't seem to be too mean. I don't think it's resurrecting or anything, but nothing has died underneath it, so I don't know. But no evil creatures have wandered onto the map yet. However, every 5 to 10 days, these ash clouds fly overhead, and they drastically destroy moods if they touch a dwarf. So, fortunately, it seems like they only stay over top of the ocean. However, the ocean freezes for half the year. So there's that. Oblivion, you already have a dwarf. I'm not going to name another one after you. You have 2 options. 1, I can refund that, or 2, you can give it to somebody else. I really wish you didn't do that if you don't want to give it to somebody else. But, Elfie, can you refund that for Oblivion? Let's make this easy for everybody. Okay. No, just refund it. Just refund it. If you redeem one, I'm not going to dwarf you, Arcloid. Don't ever do that again, Oblivion. Okay? Just don't. I really wish that people could just understand that this is not a all-you-can-eat buffet, guys. Come on. But I guess we're giving a dwarf to Geotrack. God. And the long-term goal is to keep this fortress alive for 10 years. Tune in at the start of the stream and you'll find out what the duck means. It's not relevant to this portion of the stream. Only relevant to the start of the stream. And because we're under the ocean, I kind of am trying to make my fort look like a boat. Or at least I'm making this part of it look like a boat. Well, Oblivion seems to have given it to Geotrack. I wanted to just refund it and not give it to anybody, but Geotrack asked first and Oblivion said to give it to Geo. So we're giving it to Geo, but I'm just bothered right now, I suppose. Anyway, what kind of dwarf do you want, Geotrack? Looks like the deck of the airship from FF6, or Fire Emblem, or any other grid-based game. But the dwarf that we are following is Cog, this dwarf, who's currently the broker. Was the most upset dwarf in the fort for a bit, but has since happied up a little bit. Once, he is 147 years old, so he may just die of old age, which would be very funny. But my goal is to get him to the happiest dwarf in the fort, or at the very least, an interesting dwarf. We should be getting migrants this spring, otherwise we're in trouble. Skipper is the founder of the fortress. And we're kind of going for a little bit of a Gilligan's Island theme. Fast the Fisher Dwarf, got it. We're kind of going for a little bit of a Gilligan's Island theme, which is basically just these dwarves were on vacation, and then they got stuck here, and they can't leave, so they're just digging. Because we started without an anvil. We already have an anvil. That's fine. And it turns out digging down is really difficult. Getting through an aquifer is a pain in the ass. When you can only unpause for certain days of the year, it's taking forever. I've had to, like, fix and, like, dig around, but we'll get through this light aquifer eventually. It's just 5 days is enough for it to fill up. Looks like a ship. This is true. That is the intent. So Geotrack gets this dwarf. And as a reminder, Tier 2s still have the dwarf commands. Those are still a thing you're permitted to use if you want. All right. Geotrack is always in love with somebody and easily develops positive feelings. It exhibits a refined politeness and it is determined to keep the guiding rules of etiquette. and decorum, as if life itself depended on it. I couldn't read that for some reason. My eyes just like ceased to function. He really develops positive feelings towards things and tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions. He is slow to anger and he tends to make a small mess with his own possessions. He generally acts impartially and is rarely moved to mercy and is quite ambitious, often feels lustful and has an active sense of humor. He laughs very loudly when he's nervous and he needs alcohol to get through the working day and likes working outdoors and only grumbles mildly at bad weather. I'm not farming at all, by the way, so if my food supply seems low, that's why. He dreams of mastering a skill and personally values tradition and values romance. He likes pig iron and tanzanite and naff fabric, as well as sheep parchment and the colored jade, and bucklers and addermen for their warning hisses. And when possible, prefers to consume dwarven beer and absolutely hates cave spiders. How's the Truman Dwarf been? Well, it's from what we can tell, okay so far. Nobody's died yet. I already read that. You're a member of the Lined Coven, which is the religion that we murdered in the last fort. Fath is your lover, who is also our manager. And you are one of the starting 7, because you are kindred spirits with all of the starting 7 dwarves. You value tradition and romance, yep. And you have modest quarters. This is your bedroom. It's a little cramped, but I'm sure it's fine. So I set the aquifer down in the basement to be smoothed, and this is our dwarf, who is currently never feels discouraged, is a friendly individual, and is brave in the face of imminent danger, generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity, and is generally quite confident in his abilities when undertaking specific ventures. And he is curious and eager to learn, and often nervous. He was very upset for the first year, and that's because he got caught in the rain right when he walked in. But finally, after a year and a half, he learned to accept being poured on by the rain, and became less depressed and learned to disdain stoicism because of it, which is probably a good thing for us in the long run. So now he personally feels that those that attempt to conceal their emotions are vain and foolish after being caught in the rain. And he thinks that friendship is important and doesn't particularly respect commerce and doesn't feel strongly about the law. I think the interesting thing about this fortress isn't necessarily going to be the mechanics. It's going to be showcasing, I guess, like how a dwarf can change with time because of how much attention we're paying. Also, I do really hope his wife shows up at some point because she doesn't live here. So dwarves can die of old age between 150 and 170. And in order for this challenge to be completed, air quotes, we need to get to summer 395 or 394. 394. Summer 394, which should be 10 years that this dwarf has been here. However, if his wife shows up and he has a kid, or if he has a lover and gets married again, I will continue playing his partner, basically, is the plan. We're on the 10th. I can go check that aquifer. He does not have any children, no. So I'm going to need to do either side of this. Let's just... Oh, I see. DF hack overlay still on. That's an unfortunately old dwarf. We went with him because it seemed fun. It's added some extra surprise to the playthrough. That or like we could jump to his closest friend or whatever after the fact, but also we're in an ad, so I will pause properly. Yeah, we have been butchering and eating giant rams. Are they rams? I think they were rams. Hey, Dulkin, what's up? Also, Enlass as well. Duck Ponders, hello. Opekama as well, hello. Sentient Potat, how thing? No wife, happy life? I mean, depends on the wife. Or the husband, in this instance, I suppose. We are farming. Well, sorry, rather, we will get to farming, but I'm waiting on farming, one, because I don't really need to farm right now, and harvesting is plenty right now. We will need to farm for booze, but I'm just hoping to find the caverns, and we can just farm down there. Or which will also create some excitement. Or alternatively, If not the caverns, then I will just start dumping water somewhere and make a farming area underground. But we're not farming yet. We will get there. And also, something that was kind of exciting was this dwarf was... Oh, geez. That was the 10th I could have... Oh, right. Yeah, no, I already did things. Something that's kind of neat is this dwarf was hanging out in the tavern recently, and they were telling stories. And they were telling the story of people getting elected in godly tombs, which is kind of cool. So, word of godly tombs acclaim has spread. We've already had, like, crossovers. And also, something that's kind of interesting about this character is he was part of the Dead Communion at one point. So I can do some fun tie-ins with that, even if it's not like a, direct tie-in. Callbacks are fun. You never see dwarves use the instruments in the tavern. They must not know how to play them, which is kind of a crappy thing that can happen. Like, if you don't embark with dwarves with skills in particular, like, if they need to have a keyboardist skill to be able to use this, right? Like, this is a percussion instrument, if I'm not mistaken. And I do have some more instruments I can place, I think. Yeah. So it's like, you need to have a dwarf who's in the fort who knows how to play that instrument. And then they need to play that instrument. And then other dwarves will slowly learn how to play that instrument from watching that dwarf play the instrument. It's something that you can force with adventure mode, or alternatively, what's the word I'm looking for here? Or alternatively, if you don't force it in adventure mode, you can, why is there just a cabinet in the middle of the floor? Why is there a cabinet in the middle of the floor? The hell? Somebody missing a cabinet? No. Well, crud. Might as well make more bedrooms down here, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, so if you have no dwarves that know how to play the instrument, no one will play the instrument. Is probably the big issue that you're going to run into there. I'm just trying to get through this aquifer, then we can actually start getting some progress done. And also, I might as well start carving up some more bedrooms because, we're going to need them. So let's actually start right here. So I did 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Except let's do this all on priority 3 so that they do the bottom ones first. It's okay if the inner parts are higher priority because, they'll get to it. They need to know a song that uses the instrument. That's true too. Yeah, they also need to know a song that uses the instrument, and they know how to play. They need to know how to play the instrument because it's one of those, like, if they don't have any skill in reading, they can't read type deal. So yeah, basically the way I've found to find people who know how to play an instrument is you need visitors. You need people to visit the fort. So next time I can pause is on the 20th. But he saw a story of the dwarf Obok Ford coiling to the position of Baroness of the Work of Spray in 208, and it's interesting. I can also, like, do some science with this, and I could say the number of times this dwarf slept. Or ate food, if I'm willing to go through all of the VODs and count. I don't know if it's worth checking that, but... Oh yeah, also currently this dwarf is a tavern keeper, with the hope that they'll make lots of friends and get good at talking. Because talking skills are required for elections, so if he talks a whole bunch, there is a chance he could become a mayor or something, which could be fun. That would be wild. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of skills that could be more straightforward to teach the dwarves for sure. That is very much the truth. But, I mean, things that are going to be difficult in this fort is going to be things like pumping water places or when sieges start happening. Because I do have a squad. I haven't hit any metal yet, even though there is supposedly metal in this map. Come on, we need to hit the 20th. Come on, game. Give me the 20th. There it is. We're digging out all this. That's good. I can start queuing up a bunch of construction. More bedrooms. But yeah, whenever the second sieges start happening, things are going to start getting whacked because I'm not going to be able to tell what's going on. So it's just going to be like, yeah, no, things are normal, things are good, things are normal. Hey, what's weird sounds? Walks over this way. Oh, God! Or like if a Forgotten Beast attacks, I'm going to like have to try and click on it in real time and I won't know where in the map it is. Which actually, maybe I should turn off the auto-pausing on Forgotten Beasts. It's like, just give me the notification, but don't jump to location so I don't know where it is. That could be fun. Might have to do that. Might be a bit too intense, though. I'd have to hit a cavern first for that to happen, though. The horrors reached the bar last. Yeah, pretty much. The tavern had no idea what was coming. Okay, so 25th is the next time I can pause. And then it's a little tricky because 25th, I can't pause again until the 5th. So it goes 25th to the 28th, then it rolls around to the 1st, and then I can't pause again until the 5th. So the longest period of time between pauses is the 25th to the 5th. I mean, some Forgotten Beasts are butcherable, but not all of them. Loot isn't really a thing in Dwarf Fortress. Fortress mode, anyway. What did I miss? Following the same guy? We are following one dwarf for 10 years. And I can pause on... And if you guys want me to check in on dwarves while I'm paused, let me know. But I will be periodically checking in with named dwarves. But I can click on things and do stuff so I can grab this and like queue up a task so I could try and do this, basically. You know, just as an example. I can try and do things as we're moving through the world. Pulling levers is going to be dangerous. Because, like, currently there's one lever that's the front door. So if, like, a were creature shows up right now, I can't pull the lever until the 5th. Right? Hasn't he hit the limit? Post 150 is the limit. Post 150. He's 147. That's like asking me, haven't you hit the limit? Aren't you going to die any day now? It's like, well, yeah, that's how life works.
19 in them. Other than that one Steely Dan song.
Do you post song lyrics every time you resub? Thank you very much for the 19th month, True Freak. Welcome back with that Prime sub. Chat, don't forget to check your Primes. They do make the streams go round. Okay, so I can't dig down this time, but I can smooth this. Be real nice if this was the last one in the... But I'm kind of doubtful there. Let's just keep constructing bedrooms. But it's also the first of spring every year that they may drop dead. And if he does die of old age, we'll have to figure out what we do from there. We'll either go with next of kin or best friend, if there's next of kin or best friend, or we'll just end the fort. And if he dies of old age, then that'll be his story. And if that's how it goes, that's how it goes. I think that's totally fine, personally. Although, it might be a bit underwhelming. I don't know. I guess the question is, chat, what would you guys want me to do if this dwarf dies of old age? Okay, I've got 3 beds currently, so I gotta queue up some beds. Let's just do 15. I don't know how many logs I have. 108. Cool. Plenty. We at least build him a tomb? Do a funeral? Follow his ghost? Oh, God. Fun fact, did you know that ghosts can die of old age? They get to 170 and then they die. They just disappear. They stop haunting when they hit 170 years old. You change your vote to the ghost? Oh, boy. Oops, wrong dwarf. Where's Cog? There's Cog.
Island Kinham.
Thurslan, thank you very much for the 23rd month. Island Kinham. Island Kinham! Appreciate you. Thanks for keeping that sub alive. There's nothing as important, there's nothing so important that it is worth telling a lie. I like that his most recent thought is improving appraisal.
I am close behind. 21 months. Anyway, what's this POV challenge exactly?
I can only follow this dwarf. The only times I can pause are on the 5th, or on the 5s and 0s on the calendar. And we are following this dwarf for the entirety of the fort. Which, by the way, makes digging through an aquifer very slow. I'm also going to need to put levers for the front door on every floor, probably. Which I haven't felt the need to do just yet, because we're still below 20 dwarves. But it's going to be something. Ghosts can be killed by fell mood dwarves. I believe that. Fell mood dwarves kill a dwarf and make something out of the dwarf. It's the evil mood alternative. Uh-oh. You haven't smoothed these walls yet? Come on. Okay, well, at least we got that done. Phew. Speaking of cogs, there's a hype train that's about to start if somebody wants to mess with it. I'm just saying, subscribing is on sale if you subscribe for more than 1 month. That's my effective sell-out request. Hello, Killjoy in YouTube chat. How are you? Also, YouTube folks, don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube stream. It's at 32 likes. There's 91 of you. Make the number go up. Okay, let's pause here. I need to start cooking prickleberry seeds, I think. And also, I really need to do something with that tallow. Did I... Do I have any empty barrels right now is the actual question. I do! Shit, okay, I can actually make soap. Because I was starting some stuff to make soap here, and then just didn't. So let's go... I think it would be a... Ashery. Yes, one of these. How is that not an empty barrel? Excuse me? Game. How is that not an empty barrel? I can't... Dominoc, thanks for checking out a gift. Appreciate you, by the way. And also, yeah, if anybody has any other questions about the theme for this fort, just let me know. Grrr. That's all I have to say. All right, well, let's do this. We're gonna go down to you and just say, hey, make ash times 10. Also, let's make 10 charcoal. Might as well. So I got plenty of wood lying around right now. Full of air? I guess so. Too much O2. Who is Cog's co-workers at the bar? Currently, there is none. I could make somebody into a performer. Like, I feel like Telenartho would be a decent performer. Should I make a performer? With barrels, claim 1 barrel? Oh, really? Interesting. I usually have barrels in their own stockpile. But because this fort is early on, I don't currently. Well, it hasn't refreshed that. Oh, well. How's your dwarf doing? You're currently making rock blocks. You want to fight, help somebody, and you want to pray pretty bad. You're probably just overworked. Yeah, you want to acquire something, you've had drinks, you want to fight, you want to be extravagant. I'm going to help with the extravagant need and stuff on a lot of these dwarves once we find metal, because supposedly there's gold on this map. So once I get a little deeper, if we can get gold, the need to be extravagant will be a lot less of a pain. Because dwarves will just be extravagant. If they want to be, basically. Let's plop some beds into here. And then let's go cabinets. And chests. We don't have any. Rock chest coffer is what I need. Rock cabinet. Let's also check these. Unsuspend them. And throw some doors in. Francis in the YouTube chat is gifting 10 memberships. Thank you very much. And Twitch chat is currently in a hype train. If you would like to earn some emotes, potentially. If you happen to have a resub or a prime sub, now would be a good time to pop it. And thank you, YouTube chat. Influencing the pawns to... Well, number one, calling them pawns is offensive to dwarf kind. They're dwarfs or dwarves. Pawns is Rimworld people. These are not pawns. So you do not influence pawns to do anything in Dwarf Fortress because pawns don't exist in Dwarf Fortress. Trying to get your dwarves to spend more time in the tavern is very easy. It simply requires removing jobs and giving them time off. Prawns are delicious, though. Yeah. Or see if it's an option. If you have Amazon Prime, you have to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Then, which you can do just by Googling Amazon Twitch link, basically. Once you've done that, then you have a button which says subscribe with Prime when you go to subscribe, when the crown is on the subscribe button. That's it. Anyway, Mortified Penguin, thanks for the $1. Elfie Bean, thanks for the $1. Thanks for the little hype train. 4 subscriptions, $2. I made like 12 bucks. Thanks. All right. Let's unpause. So I can pause again on the 10th. Doesn't work on the phone app. You have to subscribe on computer. I always forget Twitch has an app. It's like, I know a lot of people watch on apps, but I mean, you outed yourself. It's okay, Rake. I mean, for whatever it's worth, I've seen you talking in Rimworld chats before. I already knew. And I just outed myself as a filthy lurker, so... This dwarf, like, has not satisfied the acquire object needs since we got here. Dude needs to be schwanky. I also need empty food storage items. I should probably just start making rock pots. Excuse me. Well, meeples are a very specific thing from Meeple Station, which is not a good game. Okay, you, this, forbid. Stop. There you go. I did that intentionally so that I could possibly have a chance to make the thing. Meanwhile, Holgar is gifting 20 memberships. YouTube chat is winning the money race today, it seems. YouTube just randomly decides to recommend stream to a lot of people sometimes. And when YouTube decides to not recommend stream to a bunch of people, you get no viewers. It's very inconsistent. So it's wildly all over the place. Last 2 days have been kind of good. Mostly due to the fact that new fort's in the title. and I uploaded a video recently that did well. But if statistics are anything like they normally are, in about 2 weeks, it'll be back down to where it was. Because nobody will get it recommended anymore. MB Audio, thanks for the 15th month. Appreciate you. It's good to see you, mate. So for YouTube, it's not the fault of the audience. It's the platform is very inconsistent by design. There we go. But Twitch chat, can I get a round of beers? Both for YouTube chat, throwing those memberships around, and also for MB Audio, chucking that Prime sub into the chat. Reminding folks to comment on the video. Yeah, I mean, I talked about why that video didn't perform as well a bunch at the start of the stream, but it performed to the minimum I need them to perform to be a success. But it's still been, watching that video has been kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. All right, can probably plop some more of these in too. I think everybody already has bedrooms, but this would be worth checking. Wait, what? This one doesn't have a door. That's a problem. Okay, one child doesn't have a bedroom. Now you do. Okay, so we are on the 10th. I can unpause again on the 15th. And that's still, yep, still in the Aquifer. Or at least I've figured out a cadence that works for this. And also, because I have the ashery done, I can then go into here and say, make lie. Bump that up to 15. No, not that. This one, ash. And then we'll just make 15. That'll leave me with some extra ash on top. And then soap from tallow, 15. We'll have soap. And that'll give us some other happy thoughts. And we can follow Cog. But yeah, thank you very much, Holgerson, in YouTube chat, for 20 memberships. That is a lot of memberships. The term meeple was introduced by the 1984 game Top Secret Spies. Okay. I mean, for me, it's just like a board game term to represent little characters. So yeah, that checks out. I saw a dwarf recite Girls and the Reverend Servants at the Salty Paddle. That's a name. Is this one of those, and all I really want is songs? Shout outs to the Beastie Boys. Something Meeple Station. Yeah, well. Mentioned that one earlier. Should probably also put a lever down here. Because this is an area that this dwarf spends a lot of time in. And if there's a siege, I need to be able to lock it out. Or at least 10% those kind of songs? Probably, yeah. Just gotta up the percentage on this. And we'll keep following Cog. You're only on your second fort. To a weregecko. Okay. Your third is on a river island. I got high hopes, but I haven't had yet. You haven't had a migrant wave yet for 3 seasons. Have you traded? Or had the opportunity to trade? Because there is the possibility when you're on an island that you won't get migrants. You're too tired and need a nap. You have a good nap. Best of luck for the rest of your day. How goes the life of Cog? He's become less depressed and learned to disdain stoicism after becoming accepting of getting caught in the rain. He has some friends and is currently doing okay. Is no longer the most depressed dwarf in the fort and moods are on the upswing. But cross your fingers that we get migrants this spring, because we started in a weird season. Because we started in mid-spring, it usually throws off the migrant waves. So we got the first 2 migrant waves, which are both quite small. And now I'm hoping that we'll get another migrant wave in spring, which may be the same situation Kyotogi's in, if depending on the time of year they embarked. Because I think that there's like a timer that dictates when you start getting migrants, and it gets thrown off if you don't start on the 1st of spring. Okay, then you're fine. If you've traded twice, you should be good. But never a human or tree people traders yet? You don't usually get those until your fort's a little bigger. So that checks out. It's too deep again. God damn it. 'Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head instead of going under. Okay, so these are priority 3 up there, and then we're going to priority 2. Also, what's on the map currently? Should also check my cages. Okay, it's just ostriches still. Got it. We had giant rams for a bit, but they appear to have stopped a little bit. And we built this, so I can go up to this. Okay, I need to make more mechanisms. Rock mechanisms incoming. Rick. Monia, thanks for the 15th month. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Rather than emphasizing his state. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be so worried, but... We're still making crafts. We are not currently. Let's go back to making bone bracelets. Totems. Lots of hair. Could probably decorate things with horn. Right? Yeah, decorate with horn. Decorate with ivory tooth. And we'll make shell earrings. Hey, Check, can I get a round of beers for the 15th month, please? Padinsky, what up? It's good to see you 2 days in a row. I barely ever use stockpile linking for anything. Unless I'm trying to be very specific about... The only time I will use stockpile linking is if I'm trying to be specific about... What's the word I'm looking for here? The only time I use stockpile linking is if I'm trying to be specific about what kind of materials I'm encrusting with gems. I'm in an ad break, so I have to pause. Hard pause. Mr. Spider-Man, sir, thanks for the 10th month. Welcome back. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I'll use linking to move stuff from one stockpile to another stockpile. I will sometimes do that. Sometimes I'll use them for... sometimes I will use them for minecart setups. But it's pretty few and far between. Like, they're useful, but I find them... Like... I find them to be really useful initially, but quickly become more of a bother than they are worth, if that makes any sense. Like, initially I find them to be really, really helpful, and as time goes on, they become less useful and more annoying. Fractabellum, thanks for the raid. Hey, Check, can I get a round of beers for the raiders? Thanks for bringing your party over. This fort has a weird gimmick. I can only pause the game on the... unless there's an ad, which we currently are in, on the 0s and 5s on the calendar, and I have to follow one particular dwarf. If the dwarf dies, fort's over. We're trying to keep this dwarf alive for 10 years. And trying to build a fort around that dwarf from that dwarf's POV. I don't even... Do I have any mods around? If I do, can I get a shout out for Fractabellum, please? I've got some quiet mods as of late, so I might have to do it. But it's okay. There we go. I can now unpause. But this is the dwarf we're following. Not that one. This one. Name's Cog. He's our broker and tavern keeper, and was the most annoyed dwarf in the fort at one point, but has happied up. Oddly enough, and ironically, he was super unhappy because he got caught in the rain when he first arrived, which he's now learned to accept. And he's slowly building out a personality, which is fun to watch. 25th, I can pause, so I can hopefully not break that aquifer. Right? Oh, is he thirsty? You're thirsty. Go get a drink, dude. Right there. Okay, so now I need to hook this lever up. Right here. Because this is like one of the weird things. Is like, I'm going to need to have a lever on pretty much every floor connecting to the front door. Otherwise, when enemies show up, they will just show up and kill me, basically. Okay, so I can't dig down right now. Actually, I can start it. Because I have like a longer period of time before the next point where I can pause. Does any of these not have a bedroom yet? Nope, these are all good. Okay. I'm prepping for the next migrant wave right now. We're also making soap in the background. I need to check in on that. Which is queued up. We're making lye. Okay, well, we're getting to it. We're making ash and charcoal. We're making lye. Once we have lye, we can make soap. Up here, we have tons of talos, so that's not an issue. Have I set a fixed zoom level? No. I've just been kind of going at roughly this zoom level because it's comfortable. But when needed, I have been zooming out. Why? Should I set a fixed zoom level? Make truth not lie? Well, the reason I have been is because the camera is locked at this angle. There are points where it's hard to see what's going on screen, depending on where the dwarf decides to stand in the fort. That is one of the strangest Twitch things I've ever seen, where I got raided and then like 90 seconds later get raided again, or like 2 minutes later get raided by the same person. What the hell happened? Also, thanks for the shoutouts to whoever did it. But what? Did the raid like error out or something? Because it came through the first time. Odd. But it did go through the first time. I've got 2 notifications for this. But thank you, Fractabell. We gave you the whole shout out right there. Should I click this? Oh, the raid button? I mean, the raid button makes it go through immediately. It like skips earlier. We got caught in some over-engineered defense system. I see you found my minecarts. Right, so I've got until the... Telling a story? I wonder what's... Whenever he goes to tell a story, he always cancels it. He never finishes telling his story. It's like I should remove this dwarf from brewing or something. Like put a specific dwarf on it. Like maybe give it to Endok, mayhaps? And then... For Endok, remove your other skills. So he just does that. So that this dwarf can go do other things. He's become an adequate brewer. You can get him on cooking for a bit. But welcome. And thank you for the double raid. But yeah, we were briefly talking about stockpile linking. So I'm curious, to those of you who play Dwarf Fortress, do you use stockpile linking frequently? Because I barely ever use it. It's like a niche use case thing for me. I think I would use it more if the game had an in-game overlay showing what stockpiles were linked to what stockpiles. I think that's my main issue with it. So Skipper and Cog here are hanging out. Are they even passing acquaintances? Yeah, they're just passing acquaintances. Because I wonder if it's like a proximity to Factorio. If you play Factorio a lot, you use them a lot, but if you don't, you don't. To have diverse meals. Interesting. Yeah, for me, it's basically just like encrusting and decorating stuff, and that's about it. Or some minecart routes. Needs... Oh, I probably need buckets. That's probably the issue. I mean, if you think in Factorio, then I would say you're probably more likely to use stockpile linking, because that's a very Factorio-esque mechanic. Can extend the size of the boat back here a little bit. Might also just dig out this wall so I can get those gems. You do not understand stockpile linking? Something you can't handle my strongest potions? To stop them hand carrying stone across the map. I do that sometimes. If they start doing that, I will do that. But usually I stop doing that because often what I find happens, even with like infinite stockpiles and stuff, I'll just end up with an empty stockpile and get job canceling because the stockpile's empty. Use stockpiles linked to, yeah. You fill a stockpile with statues and link it to a gem shop. Yeah, that'll do her. Although I'd be more likely to do that with tables because I think dwarves spend more time at tables than anything. Like right now I'm decorating items with horns, right? Like, what are we even decorating actually out of curiosity? It's ibex hoof and probably bracelets, I would assume. Yep. Ibex bone bracelets. Giant ibex bones. Bones of a giant ibex. Decorated with hoofs. Now we're going to sleep, and then on the 10th I can pause. But he liked that work, which is good. Oh, it's got another good thought. This winter he's blissful after sleeping in a very good bedroom. He's decided his bedroom is very good. Gives specific commands for that? Yeah, no. That's something that should be in vanilla, and I agree. Yay! We're through it, chat. Let's go down to layer 40. We are through the aquifer. Hallelujah. Okay, I'm also going to smooth or build walls on these walls now. All the way up to the edge here. Because that one is engraved. I think that's all of them that were engraved. And there's also some gems in these. Yeah, it's just that one that's engraved. Okay. And then I've got this, which has been hooked up. I need one on this floor. So I'm thinking... Actually, let's go back here and do flooring. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. You know, okay, I would like to get more geese and ducks, so I'm just going to lock this door. What are his preferences? I'll read through them in a second. I'm just going to tie my hair back again. It's going to be quite hot today, and anybody else with long hair can probably relate to this a little bit. If you have really long hair that's sitting on the back of your neck, and it's really hot, you just sweat buckets all day. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. Also, I'm just going to state this again. I stated it at the beginning of the stream, but a lot more people are tuned in now. I will not be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow off. because I need to do a news video and a Future of the Fortress video, and I have a blog post that I'm behind on. So, yeah, let's unpause. So his preferences, he likes gold, Galena, Morion, pearl, short swords, gauntlets, and backpacks, as well as anvils, and when possible prefers to consume soft wheat beer and white millet flour and absolutely hates oysters. So I'm thinking local militia, metalsmith for this dwarf. Well, that's like means you don't have long hair then, Bastet. He's old? He's not old. 150 plus is old. He's just old. I would like more geese and ducks. I'm going to like this. How's that sound nuts out of context? I'm stopping the dwarves from, like, collecting the eggs. I beg your pardon? Keeps a band on her wrist on hot days. Yeah, I just put my hair into a quick, messy bun. It works. We're on the 14th. On the 15th, I can pause. Okay. But yeah, what I'm really hoping we get out of this fort is we get obvious... I'm hoping that this teaches me more things about the mechanics of Dwarf Fortress that I haven't noticed before. That's what I'm hoping. And that is the intended outcome and the hoped outcome, is that I learn things that I didn't know previously about mechanics in Dwarf Fortress, which is definitely a possibility. 'Tis definitely a possibility that could happen. Oh, I'm out of wood. I also have to be really careful with wood because this is Untamed Wilds, so I do have to be careful. Do you end up shaving it off every summer? I haven't had a haircut since 2015 was the last time I got a trim. And also, this stuff right here, this eerie ash, is left behind by the clouds of dust, which are right here, which I can unpause for a second just to show it to you. And pause again. This stuff is what we're trying to avoid. In ASCII, it's purple. It's this. From what I can tell, it gives them terrible moods. It may have other effects, but if it does, I don't know. I haven't seen those. Looks cooler in ASCII. Yeah, I agree. I think them being big purple clouds looks cooler. But, you know, it's scary. Here's the thing, Bargrillius. I said I haven't had a haircut. I trim my own hair every 4 to 6 months. I haven't had a professional haircut since 2016. I don't know how specific I need to be with chat, but I do take care of my hair. Why would I not take care of my hair? Come on. Please. If you select somebody from the YouTube chat, yes. Him go fast. But you have to select somebody from the YouTube chat. Because that's not my job. You've had one professional haircut in your life. Gotcha. What happens if the character dies? We'll either go with next of kin, best friend, or follow his ghost, or end the fort. And it's kind of undecided. But yeah, I love it when people presume I don't know how to take care of my hair and backseat my hair. It's fine. Should expect it. It's the internet. But this dwarf is main character. Okay, him go fast. We'll do that when we hit the 20th. Because currently I can't unpause. So Havoc, just a heads up, you're being gifted a sub by, or not a sub, a Dwarf by the Him Go Fast. So think about what kind of job you want. Remember, you can't select cog. Backseat, all these backseat hairstylists in the chat. No, it's fine. I don't really equate a haircut to a trim, but it's fair. Yeah, the left-handed and right-handed. Same with the shield and weapon ones, and the armor that's fully pelletized now on everybody also looks really good. You can actually see what kind of armor goblins are wearing, which is cool. Okay. No, I'm just thinking out loud. Don't worry. But haircut does not equal trim in, at the very least, my brain. But concern is appreciated. Can you somehow force a dwarf to make a baby? Not unless they're married and their spouse lives here, and this dwarf's spouse doesn't live here. Is this the beta branch? Yep. But there is a passworded beta branch if you just want the fortress mode upgrades, but not adventure mode, which I don't know why you would want that. All right, so Havoc, you're being gifted a dwarf. Which dwarf would you like to select? Yeah, but that's cheating, Darius. Haircut equal cut off, like, amount of hair. Trim equals keeping same style. So haircut would be changing the hairstyle, would be the way I would define it. Zuntir? Sure. I think that's actually the actually, hold on. Are you the happiest dwarf in the fort? No. Okay, has been the happiest dwarf in the fort before. Okay, so first off, you were the lover of Skipper, who is the expedition leader. And he says, trade is the lifeblood of a thriving society. I think you're one of the starting 7. Yes. Actually, hold on. When did you arrive? Yeah, you are one of the starting 7. You're a Grandmaster Miner, turns out. You feel fondness when speaking with a friend. You've got plenty of happy thoughts. You got into this current romance in the year 385. He feels helping others is an imposition on his time and likes to present himself boldly, even if it would offend the average sense of modesty. He doesn't cling tightly to ideas, is open to changing his mind, and he is grateful when others help him out. He tries to return favors, and he has an active imagination. He has an active sense of humor, and he tends to think before acting. He tends to be swayed by emotions of others, and he has a greedy streak. He often acts with compassion and tends to be a little tight with resources when working on projects. Needs alcohol to get through the working day and likes being outdoors, but only grumbles mildly at bad weather. We are slightly over a year. We're a year and a half in. Probably by the end of today, based on the speed we went yesterday, we'll be 30% of the way done, if I had to bet. Unless things slow down dramatically. He personally truly values merrymaking and parties and has a deep respect for animals, plants, and the natural world, and finds leisure time wasteful and dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. He likes jet, copper, and moss agate, as well as armadillo shell, warhammers, tables, and rings, and toy boats. Boogeymen for their terror-inspiring antics, and kobold bulbs for their shrouded history. And the words of the umber sparkles and the sight of the festive blossom, and when possible he prefers to consume ibex, swamp whiskey, and foxtail mullet flour, and absolutely hates slugs. And he has a medium length beard, which is braided. I don't know, it looks like a big beard to me, but we'll call that medium length. And you're a member of the Ocean of Ashes, which is us, and of course you're a member of the Dead Communion from the last fort. You would like martial training and you want to be extravagant and be with family. Well, at least you're in the process of making a family. You also would like to acquire objects. I could put you in the military, because I think you'd like it. Because it is an on-again, off-again military. So we're going to do that. Think no one can see you in your hair? Well, I mean, hey. Beg your pardon? Oh, is this a double Aquifer map? Tis. So there is a heavy Aquifer on part of this map. I wonder if this is the heavy Aquifer. Wouldn't that be fun? Because we have a break for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Z levels? Ay. All right. Well, that's okay, I suppose. So I got the one lever, which is right there. I didn't throw another lever down here, but I need to. That's getting done. Go to this and just type in wheelbarrow. Let's check you. Check you. I haven't started doing it yet, but I'm presuming they will because we'll be getting buckets, which they haven't started yet, but they are working on. So we're trying to bring wood in. Okay. Let's jump to cog. But yeah, for full clarity, summer 384 is when this started, and we are currently late winter 385, so we're over a year in. So summer 394 will be the final year. Or it will be the end point. I don't play 50.12. I've been playing on the beta branch since it was available. Whenever there's a beta branch that is available, I'm playing it. It's also, like, not even remotely crashy in Fortress mode, so I would recommend just playing the beta branch. Oh, he's now delighted remembering watching a performance. Slow tick up of character progression. Blind wants new features? Yeah. Which I think is actually kind of funny because, like, it's in, like, the second to last episode of Gortusk, the sprites turn to the new sprites. Okay, so we're almost on the 25th. Like, I have to stare at it. Like, I have to think so hard about it. It's kind of funny. Okay, there we go. So this is going to get connected to the front door. So now I have one on every major floor that our dwarf is spending a lot of time on. Let's see what we're up against. Okay, well, it's just more, like, not super heavy aquifer biome, so that's fine, I suppose. They won't make it all the way down. They'll cancel it. Well, actually, no, they will make it down. Okay, I do need to not do that, because otherwise we won't have enough time to get her done. So let's just bump this up to priority numero uno. Game, come on. Game, please. There we go. And no eggs have been laid. None of this, none of that. We are kind of running low on plants. So I should start farming up here is something I should do. I'm just a little iffy about it. And it's going to cause a lot of vomit because we are already cave adapted. I could start dumping buckets of water. Like down into here or something maybe. Yeah, maybe that's the play. Except most of this should just be this. Yeah, I think that's the play. Is just start dumping buckets of water down into here. An above ground ocean fort? Well, I mean, it's Untamed Wilds and Terrifying Ocean. So above ground is kind of unlikely to happen in any real meaningful sense in this fort. Because I do need to start farming at some point. All right, we'll do that. And where's Cog at? There's Cog at. We'll follow you. So I have until the 5th before I can pause again. Your roofed garden didn't have issues? Oh, I mean, there's no issues with the snow. The snow's not the issue. It's just the dwarves are cave adapted. So I'm not. So at this point, I have to make the decision whether or not I commit fully to keeping these dwarves cave adapted, or try to solve it. But because it's Untamed Wilds, I'm not sure if I'm willing to do that, because then I'd have to do a bunch of above ground construction. But the thing is, the reason I don't really want to do above ground is because we do have evil weather, right? And evil weather is harsh. And we'd probably get agitated birds if I were to do above ground stuff. And agitated birds would not be pleasant to have to deal with. And combine that with the evil weather, it's like, I think I'm okay. Birds are always agitated? Okay, well, these would be agitated ravens and agitated giant ravens are the two I've seen. And ospreys. So, No, this is an American issue, agitated birds. We don't have issues with our geese up here. Our geese are very polite and say sorry when they bump into you. This is a fact. Ask any Canadian. Agitated giant Kia? Well, I mean, at least they don't steal your stuff when they're agitated. They just, scream at you and, attack you. Speaking of, for those of you who aren't completely allergic to YouTube Shorts, I edited and uploaded a YouTube Short this morning. This is relevant to what we're talking about. Not joking. If you have an above ground construction fort and walls made of stone, no windows or exits on the outside like foraging, no. They consider above ground structures to be above ground. Not underground. Sometimes you'll see people saying things like, oh, you need to use glass. No, you don't. I am in an ad break, so I will pause. But yeah, I swear that short is related to what we were discussing. It's about large birds. If you could let it loop once or twice and leave a like on it, that'd be great. Also, I received another email from Google about that thing that I was talking about earlier, which I think is really funny. Yeah, not bad for a 7 a.m. laptop edit. That new Taco Bell ad? Yeah. Thank you, the Bob. An area to the side of the ship for farming? I was going to do it the back of the ship. But we could do the side of the ship. Just kind of haven't started digging horizontally yet. Kind of what I was thinking about doing was channeling down on the edges of the ship to make it look like there's water underneath the ship. It's kind of what I was thinking about doing. So yeah, we could probably do something like that. Yes. If the sun touches something once, it's considered above ground from then forward. So if you were to channel directly down to a cavern layer, that would be considered sun, and surface crops would start growing there, and trees would start growing down there. Although, I think it depends on the biome, though. Okay, so let's pause. Wait, no, we don't pause yet. Pause at the 5th. We're almost there. Has agitated honey badgers and wild boars. At least they're just like normal honey badgers and not giant honey badgers. I had giant honey badgers on a relatively recent fort, and those were funny. Because I've seen The Gods Must Be Crazy 2. I know what honey badgers do. For those of you who haven't seen that movie, there's like a 2-hour, not a 2-hour, like a 30-minute side plot in that movie of a guy who gets a honey badger that bites his shoe and doesn't let go. And it's a good side plot. There is a Gods Must Be Crazy 2. Yep, and it's almost impossible to find now because it doesn't exist on streaming anywhere, so you have to get it from the Swedish Public Library. My parents own it on DVD somehow. So if we were to do it on the side of the ship, I think I would do like out to here. And then we could just use this as a quarry. So I can make this look like a dock, basically. And then I can dig down 2 layers over here. Maybe not quite that big. Let's just do like maybe this. Then I can dig down 2 layers here to the aquifer and let it fill up. Do you think that could look cool, chat? And then we can eventually go all the way around. Actually, I should lower the priority on this.
Are there dwarves who don't like digging?
There are dwarves who are indifferent to digging. Dwarves that don't dream of mastering a skill of any sort would be indifferent to it, but they'd probably still be satisfied at work, so no, not really. What was there something happening with the stars? What was the occasion? Was there like a meteor shower or something? And also, Cramp, thanks for the 44th month. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for helping keep this channel stay funded. Helping keep this channel stay funded? Helping this channel stay funded. You know, like, the longer I do this, the more, like, convoluted the nonsense I say is. But thank you. And then we can farm over here. And also, I'm going to channel up over here. Maybe I should channel this up first. Yeah, maybe we'll do that, actually. Just like changing my mind. Like, well, let's dig down. Well, actually, maybe we should channel up. Yeah, actually, let's channel up. And then I'll make this into like a wooden wharf dock thing. Give us the underground boat town vibes. It's either going to end up looking terrible or kind of awesome, and it's like there's no in between. Gotcha. There's huge meteors above the Philippines. Oh no. Hopefully they didn't hit the Philippines. Okay. Let's follow Cog. Still need them on empty buckets, but here's hoping. Thank, help, channel, fund, money. Yes, good. Thumbs up. I've never actually seen the Goonies, so I'm sure many people in chat will get the reference. Unfortunately, I think it is lost on me. Cancels make ash, need logs. I need logs. Must chop tree down. But must not anger the giant or not giant badgers, giant ostriches. Or the regular ostriches. Fortunately, they're not emus, so we have a chance. Tap that for power. I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to do that because it freezes half the year, but that would also be kind of the problem is it freezes half the year. So because it's frozen so much, it would probably be more worth it to use an aquifer and tap that for power. Badger, 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 badger. Yes. I don't know what you're linking, and don't have an X account that I log into, so I can't see what's in that image. So if you could screenshot it and post it elsewhere, I'll open it. Otherwise, if you could verbally describe what is in that image, that'd be cool. Okay, we can pause. Man, right when I thought that I was through this aquifer, it throws this curveball at me. What a bunch of meanies. Don't need an X account to view it. I don't open X links. Sorry. I refuse to give that platform any of my data if I can avoid it. To the point where I'm probably going to just delete my X account. Sooner rather than later. Yay, we're getting baby ducks. Big meteor go boom. Oh, cool. Got it. Got it. Aye. Vanori, thanks for the 10-pack of gift subs. Greatly appreciate you. Thanks for carrying the stream today. You and Corvius, specifically. Jack, can I get a couple beers for our friend Vanori here? Oh, God. Well. Are you really doing both of them? Oh, my God. It's going to cancel, isn't it? Because it's banned? Yeah, it is banned in Brazil, isn't it? We saw that happen during PAX and had a laugh. We're like, wow, awesome, sweet. Going full mask off there, hey. Let's just, like, demolish the bad platform. Oh, we're trying to make it look like an actual boat. It's getting there. You have a question regarding XP gain in adventure mode. What type of XP gain? If it's about climbing, you only gain XP for climbing walls that are constructed, not trees. Because trees are just climbable. Whereas walls require skill. Screenshot and off topic, I'll take a look. And I realize I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I used Twitter for years, but like, it's gotten so bad recently that it's just not even worth looking anymore. Oh, wow, that is pretty dope. Big fireball. So true story about this. Years ago, I was out on a star watching thing with scouts. And we were in a part of town that's really, really, really dark. It's like the dark zone, basically up north, up the valley. Or no, actually east up the valley. Anyway, up the Fraser Valley. And in an area that's really, really, really dark. And the stars were beautiful, and we were looking through telescopes, we're peering at the moon, and I was staring at Jupiter through a telescope. And then suddenly everybody started shouting, what is that? And I looked up, and everything had lit up. Like, I could see the face of the person in front of me. And I turned around, and whatever it was gone. Apparently, it was one of these. And according to everybody there, it was about the size of your fist on the sky. And it was on the news the next day, and there was videos of it popping up everywhere from, like, dash cams and shit, and I didn't see it. And I'm still mad. Still mad. I'm still mad. It's been years, and I'm still mad. I missed it, yes. Anyway. Do you have something that a bunch of people around you saw that was really cool that you didn't see it? Because, yes, still salty. On Brazil. Here's the thing. I tried using Blue Sky, and I used Blue Sky for about, I don't know, 3 months, and came to this term really quickly, which was one of two things is going to happen. All the shitty people from Twitter are going to go to Blue Sky, and it's going to become insufferable. Or give it, I don't know, or nobody that is relevant to me will use it. And the only reason I use social media is because of my job. It's not something that I get personal enjoyment or use out of. So I just kind of stopped using it. One time you fell over? Oh, and you still regret that? If only you could have seen it. I'm sure it would have been hilarious. Clouds do this all the time. Yeah, that's the majority of the time, is everything's just behind the clouds. If you attack creatures that are unconscious, you're not gaining XP. Do you not gain XP for attacking things that are unconscious? I don't know. I do not know. I'm not very good at esoteric questions for adventure mode because I don't have the experience to be able to give you an accurate answer. Somebody in chat might know. Vuckruck might know if they're here. They do these kind of science, but when it's filled with water, easy? No? Dig out the walls to the edges and build walls? Basically, like, if it's a singular tile surrounded in an aquifer, no. You just have to be quick on the trigger finger and, like, dig a circle around it and then build walls on top of the one tile deep. If it's more than one tile deep, it won't evaporate. But if it's one tile deep, it will evaporate eventually. But that depends on the temperature of the surrounding region. This map's pretty cold, so. But there really isn't an easy way if it's an aquifer. What? Oh, I see. I was confused for a second based on what I was looking at. That look like mountains. Looks really cool. You can't wait to see real mountains. Have you never seen real mountains? I don't know what I would do with my life if I couldn't see real mountains. It just wouldn't be the same. Let's say you were too late and it was flooded. Is there an easy way to do this? No. Is there 1,000,000,001 tedious ways to do this? Yes, I guess is the answer. I mean, if it's in the middle of an aquifer, there is no easy way. I would almost recommend just digging a new stairwell. And just staring at it. And just designating it and pausing as they dig through it. Or what you can do is you can channel on the sides of it. Spread it out a little bit until it's 3 deep and then it's shallow enough. Dig around it and then fill it back up with walls before it fills back up. While you're smoothing it. That would be the easiest way. If it's a light aquifer, you can do that. Otherwise, you need to bring in pumps, and there is no easy solution. But you are at the there is no easy solution point if you were in the middle of an aquifer. But that is the easiest solution. You just have to be really quick. Like, I've definitely done it before, but it's not easy. And then you have to fill in the layer above as well, if it's in the middle of the aquifer. I had to use pumps to drain it, because I did that in this map initially. Yeah, but like, I've been to flat places in North America, right? Several of them. So, you've never road tripped or traveled somewhere that has mountains? Because, like, they're not that far. Well, relatively speaking. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I go to places that are just flat, which I've done many times, I get lost very easily because I've got no way to orient myself to north because I'm really bad at doing that with the sun. What are we eating? One humped camel kidney roast. Ooh, sounds delicious. Remembering watching a very good performance. It's gotten to another argument? Had an intellectual discussion. Well, at least you're doing something productive there, dwarf. Delighted after watching a performance. Has a very good bedroom. Still no more new friends, though. Did you just make an acquaintance? Maybe it was somebody else. Talking with a friend. Improved intimidation while talking with a friend. Uh-huh. Or was that while performing? Do not hide yourself behind an unfeeling mask. Wow. What a dwarf. Yeah, I don't know. I've growing up, my family and I did a lot of road tripping. And at this point in my life, I have to travel relatively frequently for work, but I don't go to mountains for work. I go to like California or Seattle, but I guess Seattle's basically the same as here, so. I'm gonna have to do the dig and fill strat in a moment here. I was really, really hoping that we were through that aquifer, but nope. 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 No, we were not. Psst, YouTube. There's 120 of you watching and 74 likes. Can we get that like number above 100? Yeah, no, I take mountains for granted too. Because in YouTube chat, Havoc says, I've flown over the plains. It's very, very flat. Growing up in CA and WA, in California and Washington, I take them for granted. Yeah, no, definitely. Same. I grew up right like in the middle of the frickin' Rocky Mountains, so I also take them for granted. Should probably also start. I'm gonna get this dwarf to engrave his bedroom a couple times. Just the floor tiles. See what he makes. Because I think that could be a fun thing for him to do. He is focused too, which I still think is impressive. Because like I haven't done too much to satisfy all of his needs. Just like the minimum, basically. I haven't taken any granite from the Rocky Mountains, no. Comments and likes always need a prompt. It's kind of funny. Like, YouTube is basically driven by interactions. Yet, people on the platform need to constantly remind people who use the platform that YouTube is driven by interactions. It's funny how that works. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm also pretty bad about leaving comments on videos I watch, so. Okay, so we're getting up to the 5th. Then I have to check if they actually were able to smooth that on time. Graved on the wall is a superiorly designed image of Skipper, the Dwarf and Dwarves by Cog. Skipper is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the selection of the dwarf Skipper as the position of expedition leader of the Ocean of Ashes in the mid-spring of 384. One of his more recent acquaintances, I think, right? Or is Skipper just an acquaintance? Yeah, Skipper is just an acquaintance. It's interesting that he's drawing pictures of his acquaintances on his floor. The other one is an image of Fath, the Dwarf and Dwarves by Cog. Fath is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the appointment of the dwarf Fath to the position of manager of the Ocean of Ashes. So he's like drawing the fortress's history on his floor. Save the game? I mean, I can. We don't need to do that, but I can. Should probably just disable that for fort mode because fort mode isn't very crashy. Since the game is saving, I will be right back. I'm going to go use the toilet. All right. I didn't even say anything. Why are you censoring me? Okay. Grumble. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do here is dig out these two walls. And then fill them in with blocks. To be able to drain it. While this stuff all gets slowly dug out. We're getting a decent little supply of stuff there. I also need more wood. And because we're into spring, there's no more snow up here. Just gonna poke around. I don't know why I'm like refusing to cut down the cactuses and I'm just chopping down the trees, but I am for some reason. Let's just go to here and chop these two down. They just don't have as much like wood in them, I guess. Also going to harvest some of these crops. Yeah, that'll be okay. And I'm going to jump on to... Actually, Havoc, how much military training did you get? You did not actually clear your military training. Perhaps he wants more than acquaintances? Oh, probably. I mean, I think that's a very fair assumption to make that this dwarf would like to acquire more friends. But he did see a dwarf recite The Future Laughs. I really like the name of that poem, Then the Future Laughs. I like the name of it because it's very, like, funny. It's like, then the future laughs at you. I think the future's always laughing at us. Just like, you know, we laugh at times past, right? Good evening, Tom. Hello. Fun fact, I've invested some money in living room furniture from a very boutique-y company. And because I can deduct it on my taxes, that's my justification, and I really need a new chair to sit on that isn't this one for my living room area. And because they are gaming adjacent, they're just like, oh yeah, no, you stream. Well, how about we like put some of your artwork or logos on a chair? So I might end up with a Vile Force of Darkness on a headrest. Which, something I'm curious to see what it ends up looking like. Which they're doing for no extra charge, which is good because it's not a cheap chair. Okay, so we're up to the 9th. When we hit the 10th, we're going to jump back down, check the aquifer. We also need to cross our fingers and really hope that we get a migrant wave. Because if we just, like, for some reason don't get migrant waves, I might have to just make a new location. But this season, we should be getting migrants. As one does, yeah. Well, I mean, it might show up in, like, YouTube videos, but I'm not going to stream from my living room. That's my living room. This is my office. I stream from my office. I need separation between my office and my living space, otherwise I go insane. All right, so we're getting goose eggs, and we are getting duck eggs. Although, the duck eggs aren't fertilized, so... Mr. Drake here. Okay, so the Drake is not gay. And neither of them. Okay, Mr. Duck, do your goddamn chirp then. Make egg fertile, you silly goose. I mean, duck. What is a POV challenge? So, I am only pausing the game on the 10s and 5s on the calendar, and whenever the game is unpaused, I have to follow this dwarf. We're trying to do this for 10 years. Because it says fertilized in brackets next to it. Good evening, Tom in YouTube chat. That's why. Travenoid posted the thing that gives you the TLDR. Oh no, Dwarf Dork. Next time, though. You literally never win. I'm sure you will eventually. Just keep trying. Eventually, you will succeed. I have faith. And then there's Devilish, who's just like broken through the stratosphere and is just like amassing huge amounts of riches. But yeah, if you want your birds to fertilize eggs, just lock the door. Just lock them in there. Like, I know it might sound kind of brutal, but just stick them in there and just lock the door. Okay, I didn't read it, but I think it's shallow enough now to dry. We got our dudes serving some wine. Look at that. He's delighted after watching a performance, bored after watching a performance. You know, I think I might swap Cog from a tavern keeper to a performer. And the reason I say that is because he wants to be extravagant, which I don't think is solved by that, but he really likes watching performances. So maybe he'll enjoy performing. Maybe. And I also should probably extend the tavern out here a little bit and give us a bigger dance floor. Demon ducks IRL? With rooster heads. Huh. I like the chickens that have like massive floof heads. I know that sounds like silly with no real context, but okay, we're about to hit the 15th. I'll pause there. Even though we're in an ad break, I'm just gonna wait. Makes things easier. All right. You have some pictures on your Instagram? I'm gonna go Google demon duck. Hold on. I'm seeing pictures of dinosaurs. What are they called? Because I'm just getting dinosaurs and rubber ducks. And Del Toro.
Entered a good mood after receiving a finely crafted mug.
Hell yeah, Bob. Also, thank you very much for subscribing for 6 months in advance. That is genuinely the best thing you can do for this channel right now, because it gives me job security for the next 6 months. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Also, which mug did you get? I can't keep track of who get what mug, but which mug did you get, if I can ask? I think I'm literally just going to cook with prickleberry seeds for a little bit. Actually, let's just do meat and prickleberry seeds. Or let's just make sure prickleberry seeds are on as an option. No, they're not. That's why they're not using them. Cool. Because or rather, no, they are. These ones aren't. Because I want them cooking the seeds that I'm not using. Because if I'm not using them, might as well just get them to cook them. Also, don't want to cook the drinks. They can cook those too, so let's just go back to here and go to work orders and say drink. Let's... Oh, I'm dropping that. I want to raise that. Let's go 15 and then up here. Let's go 15. We've got wood. Let's just go rock pots. And just make 40. That'll be fine for right now. Because I got to increase that number. The Gore-Tusk one? There you go. It's a good mug. That mug's actually done better than I thought it would. I would actually say that, like, the Gore-Tusk mug is the thing that made the video profitable. Like, ad revenue alone, I haven't made minimum wage off the amount of time it took me to make that video. But with the mug, sales included, I've just barely skimmed by. So, thank you. That mug will be available until the last day of this month. Although, if anybody needs a replacement, just let me know. Or something. Like, if it breaks or something. Or if you want to buy a second one. I can make it available again. But we got to do the YouTube FOMO stuff so people... it's the unfortunate reality, okay? How to force a dwarf to get items? Greedy dwarves will just collect items. Dwarves that are less greedy are less likely to. However, if they are hauling an item, they have a chance to just claim it. So you want them to haul an item. Or try making items of higher value. That's another way to do it. Let's actually just go up to here. And double check that I did this. Yeah, it's just 1 deep. Okay, we can go further down. Cog is right here. We're going to swap you to a performer. Let's try you as a performer for a wee bit. See what you do. After he goes and constructs a building, obviously. Yeah, he's got another happy thought. Delighted remembering watching a performance. It is a good thing that he got over that initial spiral of being caught in the rain. Walking on it can work? Oh, like you fill them up with stockpiles? That's interesting. What I've done before is I've made a gift shop, which is a 3-tile long minecart route, which is moved every, like, 15 days with a very large fill or very small fill percentage. So they put like 5 rings into a minecart. After 15 days, they push it, and then it is told to be unloaded into a connected stockpile, and then push it back, and then that stockpile is the one they fill it from. So then they put them back into the minecart, and then they sit in the minecart, and then they go this way, and then they unload it into the stockpile. I just do that on loop. And that sometimes makes them claim it, which seems to work quite well. Speaking of, I think I should probably link I should make a rock block stockpile, actually, is something I should do. Or a boulder stockpile, not a rock block stockpile. Because this is going to become a problem. Let's pause. Oh, actually, I can just delete you. I don't need to keep you around. We've got plenty of rocks right now. But what I do kind of need is a little stockpile right here. No metal ores. No clay. Just no coal specifically. And then let's put one wheelbarrow. It's called a beta. Adventure mode is in beta, and the main reason that it is in beta is because it is currently unstable and crashes a lot. So if you're playing the beta for adventure mode and it's crashing, it's because it's a beta. Is there a way to get it to crash less? Wait until it gets patched, or until the crashes that you're currently dealing with get patched. Aside from that, it's a beta, and so there's nothing you can do. Yeah, that's the only thing I really... We talked about this a little bit earlier. That's the only thing I really use it for. It's an interesting construction of an inn. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the fort that I did it in last. I think those will probably cancel, but... We are making lye successfully now, which is good. And we've made soap. Sweet. So we have soap now, and then this is set as a water source. So they will take baths here when they need them. Oh, just checking to make sure that these bedrooms are done up. And now we are going to go follow Cog. And also, chat, don't forget to cross your fingers. What? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Don't forget to cross your fingers and hope that we get migrants this month. Because we should be getting migrants in spring, probably. If not spring, then it'll be fall. Well, some of the patches were, or some of the crashes were fixed. The crash that I think there were... Hallelujah! Hey, Chad. Hip, hip, hooray. 3 cheers for beers. We got migrants in the fort. So up to 19, up to 20, up to 21, 22, 23, 24, 20 more. Hell yeah. We can get attacked by were creatures now because we're above 20. Well, that's kind of terrifying. Up to the 30s. gonna have to look through. I'm gonna have to look through the names of these dwarves. I wonder if we've been hit by any. This is one of our new migrants. Oh, I was trying to click on you. How about you? I wonder if we've got any dwarves with history. This dwarf's got quite the family too. Look at that. You and your husband arrived. Cog's wife didn't arrive. Pour one out for Cog's wife not showing up. $36 dwarves, eh? I am looking for named ones, but... Bim, you've got big hair. How old are you? Holy crap. 91, eh? I'm not going to say that this dwarf is sus, chat. But this dwarf is kind of sus. Hiding all of your skills, hey? Happy bearded dwarf? How's Endok do for you? This dwarf. This is the busy dad. Probably explains why he's so happy. Yeah, but adventure mode being crashy is why it's in the is why it's in the beta branch. It's because it's being ported to a new UI and being largely rebuilt and having a bunch of new systems hacked into it, like audio. Like, you need to realize, like, this game didn't have audio before. So they're, like, shoehorning audio into places and adding it into a lot of places that even Fort mode doesn't have it, and prototyping it in adventure mode so they can port it to Fort mode. As an example, like doors opening and closing, and footsteps, and spatial audio based on what you're looking at. Stuff like that. But does this work for you? Merlin buff? Perfect. Yep, there we go. Sweet. Merlin buff. Never falls in love or develops feelings towards anything. Yet you have a wife and 9 children. Explain. He is troubled by this because he values romance. Well, there you go. So he's a shitty dad. Got it. He rarely tries to assert himself in conversation, forms only fleeting and rare emotional bonds with others, and is very polite. Observes the appropriate rules of decorum, and when possible, and he enjoys being in crowds. I guess he made his own. And he isn't particularly curious about the world, and he tries to keep things orderly, and isn't given to flights of fancy, and he tries to do things correctly each time. He's not particularly interested in what others think of him, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day and doesn't mind being outdoors at least for a time. And he's getting used to tragedy. Also, you should probably join the military. He dreams of crafting a masterwork someday and personally values our harmonious existence, values romance and cunning, and values honesty and doesn't care about nature one way or another, and does not care about family one way or another. Yet you have 9 children! My God. Do you think adventure mode audio should start playing if you zoom in far enough? When you say adventure mode audio, do you mean like the spatial audio? I think it should start playing when they decide it starts playing, and if it's bad, then we should complain about it. That's my theory. You also have 2 pet geese. This is a weird dwarf. Be like silver, bronze, clear diamond, sea lamprey leather, the color flax, gauntlets, mittens, toy boats, and geese for their formation flying. And the sound of the adorable satin, and when possible prefers to consume glass eye and quinoa beer and absolutely hates cave spiders. Okay, he's a member of the Dead Communion. And you're wearing a crown. Which, I know they're crowns, they look like RuneScape party hats to me. Maybe it's because of the wife? Poor wife. Let's get these training for a bit. I also need to see what animals I have. So I have them all pastured up here. Or all of the non-birds pastured up here. Okay, so we do that. And then I go all the way down here. And I check this and I scream because it's filling. It's the 25th, so I can't really do anything else. All I can really do is smooth this and hope they get that done in time. And they'll continue digging out this area up here. I'm actually going to go down here. Where's my gem cutter? I thought I made a gem. Did I not make another gem cutter? God damn it, I didn't make another gem cutter. Let's do this. Dig through that. I need to see how many beds I have. I probably need more. Most certainly need more. I think this is, once we finish this floor, that's going to be it for the beds on the boat. And then after that, the beds are going to be on the shore. I don't trust that Bim there. I really don't. Just because of his white hair. Let me go read his description real quick. In your current fort, dwarves keep climbing up into an army of rodent people because they're trying to attack them. Those are brave. Those are dwarves that are brave to the point of like stupid, basically. Then again, this dwarf is 62. So maybe I'm like overreacting at the gray hair. Because there's like, see, this dwarf looks appropriate. Like their hair color is appropriate for their age. They're 152. What color is your hair? The tall head is somewhat narrow. His hair is buff. Oh, maybe that's what it is. I'm just like mistaking buff, which is like a light beige with gray. Whereas this dwarf, what color is your hair? His hair is white. Okay, so that's white hair, that's gray hair. Or this is buff hair. So maybe this dwarf isn't as sus as I thought. Does have a huge family, though. I'm just skimming to see if we have any named migrants from previous forts. Yeah, I guess not. I'm looking to see if there's anybody else who's interesting, though. Somebody like you, maybe? Married and have a big family. That's always interesting. Your younger sister's also here. Oh, that's cool. Got a family of 3 that just made it in. That dwarf has quite the family as well. This one's 19. It's always fun when you see ones with families because that means that it's not the dwarf just like making up the existence of characters and they're actually like bringing in characters that are notable of sorts. Is there any dwarves you guys would like me to check in on? Like I could check in on still here? Who isn't really developing more in the way of friendships? Made some music, hello. Surfer hair dwarf, pretty much. Heavily tanned and blonde. This dwarf, after getting rained on in the early years, has become less orderly and learned to value sacrifice. How's it going? It's going all right. We just got a real big migrant wave. So I'm going to go down here and we're going to extend my bedrooms. Let's do this at priority 3. So this is going to be the last of the air quotes boat bedrooms. After this, I'm going to start building little houses over on the shore. Which isn't going to be even remotely tedious, and I'm not going to regret doing this. I swear. Am I making a boat fort? Kinda. I mean, it is called paddle boats. So it is kind of a boat. Are you talking about, like, subscribing through Twitch, Sarfer? Because, like, Exolia is no weirder than PayPal. If you're talking about through Streamlabs, there should be alternatives. But if donating through, like, known payment platforms sounds weird to you, just don't bother, would be my advice. All right, let's follow. Let time go again. Making ash and soap. What are you currently doing? Still making ash? Clearing through that pretty quick, I see. How's the legendary gem cutter BIM? Too late. I'll have to check after we hit the 5th. Celesty. Yeah, we really need to find metals, but this aquifer is just taking years to get through. And I'm not even joking. Like, turns out, when you're on a very strict pausing regimen, doing finicky tasks that require pausing and unpausing at very specific intervals takes a while. I realize that this is probably kind of crazy to some of you, but it's the truth. It's in the, like, timestamp, or it's in the, like, post. Like, there's patch notes for it. It says what's in it. So what's in it? If you go to the beta 22 post, I think it's in there. Okay, no, they just posted it on the KitFox Discord. So it's in the news post. From the KitFox Discord, it says... It has dwarf children and baby sprites. That's what's in it. Just go to the open beta. It's got more stuff in it. It's literally stuff that it's like the repalletizing and the baby and children sprites. That's all it is. Basically new dwarf art. I don't know why they've put it into a closed beta branch. It's actually kind of an odd decision. Oh shit, they're dancing. It's kind of an odd decision as far as I'm concerned. Because, like, I don't personally think it's worth making into its own branch like that, but should also remove that wheelbarrow from the other stockpile, because I'm seeing the wheelbarrow in the wrong stockpile. It's not in this one. It's in the one above, which is up here. Okay. And then this stuff, it's funny. They just went around this. Okay, let's go all the way down to here. Somebody dropped their pickaxe. It's a little odd. Let's do this at priority number 1. Guess somebody brought a better pickaxe. How many pickaxes do I have? Because migrants can bring pickaxes. I only have 4. How many miners do I have? 3? Huh. Odd. Okay. I thought I had a 4th miner, but I guess not. So, Bim the legendary gem cutter, you say? This is the talented gem cutter. I need the other Bim, I guess. I don't have a legendary gem cutter named Bim. So just this talented gem cutter, but they're doing fine. Celesty. Still alive and well. 52 years old. Copper Fellowship. I think I did have a legendary gem cutter, but it's obviously not that person. Wonder if it's one of my military dwarves. No, I'm not seeing any blinking. I don't think I have any legendary dwarves in this fort. It's not Zuglar. You're just talented. So I don't know what dwarf you're talking about, Celesty. Oh, you said lady, not legendary. What distro of Linux am I using? Mint? What color is the paint on your walls? Continuing the gift shop discussion? Sure. I mean, it's fine. It went through. I understand what you mean. Waiting on your next statement. Let's go back to COG. And do the follow until the 10th. It is kind of weird, though, looking at the dates and being able to say, okay, we are 20% pretty much of the way through the fort. Like, I can accurately predict how long this fort's going to be. All right, Bone Dolphin. Avus. It's a V, not a U. Also got this, we've got some accomplished glassmakers. Because I can click on other dwarves while this dwarf is running around and doing stuff. We're now making soap. Look at that. He's bored while watching a performance. It's interesting. He went from being very excited and happy to watch performances, and now he's just bored while watching performances. Interesting how that works. We're also making the last few bits of soap, I think. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the soap. So we've cleared all the soap that we are going to make here. A lot of dwarves just hanging out in the tavern currently. We're going to need to clear through quite a few things pretty soon. Yeah, I guess it was one he didn't like, or it wasn't a good enough dance. He also wants to acquire things and be extravagant. I need to find that gold deposit that's down below. Like, bad. Like, sooner than later, I need to find that. Oh, crap. I missed the 10th. Shit. Gotta go for the 15th. It's like, that's just the reality of the way this mechanic works. This is taking too long. What am I missing? Ah, don't have any fermentable plants. And also, it looks like Cog has entered a strange mood. Well, that's exciting. And he's working secretly. He grabbed a boulder. Huh. Cog is the first artifact in the fort. It is possible he's bored from seeing the same performance over and over. Yes, this is possible. Huh. Well, can I get a round of beers? Cog is about to become a legendary crafter. Of sorts. It's just kind of unfortunate that it's the first one, which is usually the least interesting artifact. But I guess we'll have to go with simple but effective. Hopefully it menaces with spikes. Hello, Bimble in the YouTube chat. Actually, let's just do a sound off. If you're watching the stream right now, YouTube chat, hit the heart button or like the party button or something. And Twitch chat, let's just get a big round of beers. Curious how many people are actually listening to the stream right now. I don't know about you guys, but it's like hot here right now. So brain not running at 100% capacity. Also, thanks for all the likes on the YouTube stream, by the way. And there we go. I missed the 15th shit. The broker has created a teklelum, a shell nigitkar, and claims it as a family heirloom. What the hell is that? It's an instrument. This is a shale nigitkar. All craftsdwarf ship is of the highest quality. This object menaces with spikes of shale, and it is a large handheld ceramic musical instrument, which houses 47 metal strings. The musician, how did you make it then? The musician uses a bone keyboard. Where'd you get, you didn't make bones though. To select which of the strings are struck. The instrument has a 6-octave range going from a low to an extremely high pitch. At all pitches, the instrument has a round, smooth, steady timbre. It has 2 registers, a low register that has a resonant timbre, and a high register with a medium high pitch timbre. Should I put this in his bedroom or in the tavern, chat? Well, he clearly forged that metal. Oh shit, and it made him into a legendary engraver. Huh. Well, I'd have to put it on the pedestal. Okay. Actually, you know what I could do? He's the broker. I could make it into his symbol. So he'd carry it around. I'm going to do that. But we'll check in on that in a moment. Fuck. I'm making my life difficult here, chat. Let's just hope that this builds out well. Because I won't be able to build walls here because this is too full. So, you know, fuck it. We'll just do it this way. I'm also in an ad break now, so I will wait until the ad ends. Let's check bedrooms, because I got a lot of bedrooms to assemble. It fits. Well, he likes performances. I don't know what his skills for performing are. Well, he has decent, like, musical skills. Although I guess that would be a stringed instrument, right? It seems to be like a sort of accordion sort of thing. So if it's a stringed instrument, it is possible that he could have some skills in it. I need to check. But it's possible he knows how to play it. It's possible he doesn't. It's possible he knows songs that are related to it, and it's possible he doesn't. So we'll see. Also need to go out to the surface and harvest some more stuff because we're running out of foods because I'm just harvesting right now. Let's see. Does he possibly have skills to know how to play it? Also, all of his clothes are getting old. I have to keep an eye on that. Skills. Okay, he's a novice stringed instrumentalist. This dwarf's telling the story. Curious what they're telling. Dwarf Stylianitis became the militia commander of the Ocean of Ashes. So they're talking about militia appointments here. Is it string or keyed? I think it's a stringed instrument. Or actually, you might be correct that it's actually keyed. Oh, it got moved. I think you're correct that it's keyed, actually. That's this. Large handheld ceramic musical instrument which uses 47 metal strings. They use a bone keyboard, so it's keyed. So he knows wind instruments, musician, percussionist, strings. He doesn't know keyboards. Maybe this is an opportunity to learn. Let's unpause. Come on. God dang it. If I tried to do one at a time, I could have done one. Aren't keyboards string instruments? It depends on if you ask a harpist or a pianist. If you tell a pianist that it's a stringed instrument, they would get upset with you. If you told a harpist that a piano is a stringed instrument, they would agree with you. And it also kind of depends on whether or not you would define a piano as, or a keyboard as a percussion instrument or not. Because technically, a percussion instrument is an instrument that hits something with a thing to make sound. And a piano technically hits something with a thing to make sound. So technically, a piano is a percussion instrument. But that's a cellist. As a cellist, that's me speaking. Which a lot of pianists wouldn't agree with that statement. So technically, it's a form of percussion instrument and not a stringed instrument. Okay, so I need to build walls along here to get rid of these. Along here to get rid of these. Right there to get rid of that. And then I can't do the other two. But what I can do is I can queue these up. Maybe, and then suspend. I got some water buffaloes I can slaughter. And shark jumping walrus, hello. They're a percussive stringed instrument? Sure. That is like the best definition you could give. A percussive stringed instrument. And if you get hit in the head with a piano, it's a concussion stringed instrument. I.e. Looney Tunes. Sorry, 5 of those clouds have drifted in here? Maybe I just haven't looked at them in a while. Kind of disappointed we're not getting any, like, ocean animals, because we had a shark spawn when we were messing with it, and hoping we would get another shark, but nothing yet, which is disappointing. Okay, I will just leave all these suspended ones, because I want them to go work on the bottom ones. And Dwarf goes to nap. There you go, Jason. Welcome to a stream. As a former electric bass player, why don't we all just agree the piano is an abomination? No, because the only instrument that's true, as a cellist, the only instrument that was truly an abomination during my time playing in orchestras or any sort of classical music was the trombones, because they were always put directly behind my head and they were way too fucking loud. If I have any hearing damage, it's not from all the metal shows and thrash metal shows and death metal and grindcore shows that I've been to in my life. It's the fucking brass section that was directly behind my skull. Whenever the game is unpaused, this is the only dwarf I can follow. This dwarf is our main character, and we have to follow them at all times. And they're also not carrying their instrument around, which is a bit annoying. Buddy, go get... Oh, I wonder if it's because he's not set to haul things. Let's see. He just improved judging intent. Basically, I can only pause the game on the 5s and 0s on the calendar, and the rest of the time I have to follow this dwarf. As a trombonist, do you agree? I'm sorry, by the way. They were just way too fucking loud. Like, do not put the cello section, like, under a meter in front of the trombones, because we can't hear ourselves then. Like, literally, I played 2 full-length symphonies with a trombone behind my head in concert. So it was like 2 hours of music. And I couldn't hear myself for the entire portion of it. Like, I could hear this trombone loud and clear. Couldn't hear what I was doing. According to the crowd, it sounded good. I was just kind of clenching my teeth and hoping for the best. I love it when, like, the FPS accelerates after the game saves. Okay, I should probably put another lever in here. Maybe stick it in the corner up there. And maybe one up here too. I don't actually have anything against trombones. It's just whenever this comes up, whenever people are just like talking about different qualities of things. It's like, or of instruments. It's like, that's just what I keep coming back to. It's just like, hey. Trombonitis. I do have a little bit of tinnitus, and I blame trombones. A lot of dwarves want to craft objects. Okay, this dwarf's had alcohol, so sussy-looking Bim is not, in fact, a problem. Okay, 5th, I gotta pause so that I can work on that aquifer. God damn it. I really hoped I'd be through the aquifer before 1 p.m. today, and here we are, and it's almost 1 p.m., and I'm not through the aquifer yet. Is it out? In regards to Space Marine 2? I'll be honest with you, I haven't paid any attention to Space Marine. Out for an extra $40. Oh, okay. Fuck, I hate that. That's like one of my least favorite trends in video games. It's already a $79.99 game, dude. It says mixed reviews. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Oh, it requires Epic Online Services. Got it. You know what that means? I don't think I can play it. Because I'm pretty sure Epic Online Services, unless they've specifically enabled Linux, I wouldn't be able to play it. Oh, it's fine. I'm not going to fucking spend $79.99 on a video game. To hell with that. I mean, I'm sure it looks cool as fuck. That first one was cool. But I just... Yeah, if it's using Epic's DRM, unless they've specifically enabled Linux and doesn't say it has Linux support, I'd be willing to bet I can't play it. Which is fine. It's the grave I've dug for myself. Okay, let's pause the training. Probably not missing much. I can tell you right now I wouldn't stream it. So, yeah, I'm literally missing nothing. But I did play that first one, and I did like that first one. Not sure what I should build the edges of the boat out of, but I'll figure it out eventually. It's been a long time since I've done a fort that's just like dug out of the dirt. Give it a week. Oh, no, totally. I'm just saying that if I... You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure it'll appear on the Swedish Public Library, but... I'm also one of those weird people who, like, kind of... Unless it's unpurchasable, I kind of refuse to borrow it. Purely because I want to support the developers. So, DRM or not, I kind of don't care. Wait, I have a question. How the fuck is it a live service game? That first one was like just a single player game. How the hell is the sequel to Space Marine a live service game? What did they do to it? I mean, that by default would make it a bad game in my mind. PvP does not equal live service game. PvP is a mode. Single player is not live service game. But anyway, congratulations. I guess I have no interest in that game now. For some reason, I presumed it would have like a normalized single player campaign, but if you're gonna hamstring that nonsense into a game with a single player mode, yeah, no, I'm not buying your game. Sorry. It's not even worth buying and leaving a negative review. I'm just not gonna buy it. Well, Vermintide is a cooperative game, right? And if they Vermintided this, then yeah, no, I'm out. That sucks. Unfortunate. Me and my naivety, I presumed that this was a another single player game. Because I'll be honest, I hadn't looked into it. I just liked the first one. First one had online multiplayer that nobody played and went away really quickly, as it should. So will this one. But anyway. Here's the thing. I don't give a flying fuck about Warhammer. I just played the first one and liked it back in the day. No, I can't, because it has Epic Online Services. Creed. What are you talking about? No, I can't. Imagine good single-player shooters making combat. They have. And they're all published by New Blood. Well, at least it's minis. There's worse things you could be painting. All right. Let's follow Cog. And I need to figure out why you're not picking up your artifact, even though it's your symbol. Was Boltgun published by New Blood? Oh shit. I just realized I fucked up. Was able to unfuck it up. Because this is going to cause cave-ins and be a problem. Which means I need to build my boat out a bit more. Which is okay. Good thing I was able to pause it. Jesus. Iron Lung is getting a movie? Like, as in the short horror game? Really? My designs are astounding? I think this proves that they're not the most thought out, but I'm glad that you think they're astounding. That, or they just realized that horror movies don't need to have a huge budget to be successful. It might just be one of those situations. Because horror movies don't need a huge budget to be successful, and a lot of the best horror movies are not a large budget thing. The problem with a lot of film, video game adaptations is they over budget it. I'm just gonna erase all of this. Yeah, I can fix this. That's fine. Schmull fuck up. But I can make it work. They tend to be visually impressive. I think they get there, but then even I look at like stuff people post on my Discord and go, "Wow, I suck." So I don't know. I think like the impressiveness of something depends on whether or not you built it. If you didn't build it and you see it finished, wow. Also, I think we're through the Aquifer chat. We're into diorite and granite. Diorite. So I'm real bad at remembering stone layers. Which stone should I start digging into? We've got conglomerate, shale, okay, we were in conglomerate. More shale, nice, diorite, and granite. Where should we start digging? Could also just keep going down. Yeah, but which one of those is sediment? I'd have to go look at the wiki, which I can do, but my goal here is to not look at the wiki. Chess is like, sediment for gold. It's like, okay, but sure, but which one of these is sediment? That's what I was asking. Must go deeper. Thanks for not answering my question. I'll just go check the wiki then. You just have to bear with me while I go look. Dwarf Fortress Wiki 404 not found. Is Dwarf Fortress Wiki down? Just the home pages. Weird. It's okay. I'm just looking up what are sediment layers. Conglomerate is a sedimentary layer. So... Thank you. According to the Discord, anyway, or the what do you call it? The thing. Just the title page? Yeah, that's weird. It's a sacred text, pretty much. Chicago on your what now? Tell you do what? Excuse me? As long as you got consent for that conglomerating. Because otherwise that wouldn't be very nice. I kind of want to put a bedroom in the well. Because that's just a funny mental image to me. Just chuck a bedroom in the well and just be like, yeah, you know, you live here now. Think I'm not currently working on... Yeah, we're just doing doors. So I got to do... Oopsies. Beds, coffers, cabinets. Bed, coffer, cabinet. And I don't have much wood, so I have to go chop down more wood. And before somebody comments, yeah, I'm aware that we're kind of low on food. Also kind of low on trees. And also there's camels on the surface now. So the birds left. The ostriches left. Back above 80k, there you go. How's my wood supply? Terrible. That's why I'm chopping down trees. And also why I'm making rock pots. But we have soap, so, you know, I got my priorities somewhere. I'm not going to say they're necessarily in order, but I do have them. And they are somewhere. And... guess I can just make this manually into a bedroom. Oh. This puts us in a better spot for bedrooms. I think we're basically clear now. Yep. Because we had a married couple in there. Shoutouts to Locum and Moses for clearing up the bedroom limitations. Is micromanaging exact numbers? Micromanaging is being very specific about the way you manage something. I don't think it's related directly to numbers. Also, because you're a legendary engraver, I'm going to get him to engrave some tiles on the floor again. See what we get. Because this dwarf is my only engraver and is also brewing. So, number of drinks is going up. You finally found a way to get Godot to run on your computer. What was stopping you? Did you tell it to don't do that? Goslings have hatched. Our geese army grows, and there's baby geese running around down there. I don't know how much you guys can see those, but this is goose, 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 goose. I guess it's shout outs to this dwarf who's just eating an entire soul by themselves. It's a large fish. You were briefly telling a story, and then you went to go brew. I feel like I should remove this dwarf from brewing. Because I feel like brewing is one of the least interesting tasks you could do as a dwarf. Waited too long for Godot? For Godot, not Godon't. Lady Happy Gem Cutter. Can do! Well, I'm not going to say she's happy, but Lady Gem Cutter is now Amethyst. I think is how you spell that name that you go with, which is Celeste's nickname. Has little interest in joking around and tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. Is rarely happy or enthusiastic and is conflicted by this as she values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. She tends to be a bit stubborn and she in changing her mind about things, and she is quite comfortable with others that have a different appearance or culture. She is often nervous, and she is very humble, and she does not easily hate or develop negative feelings. She doesn't focus on material goods and doesn't often experience strong cravings or urges, and generally is quite confident with her own abilities when undertaking specific ventures, and can handle stress and enjoys the company of others. She personally respects the law and values family and dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. I'm glad you really liked it. It was a lot of work to put together and hasn't done as well as I wanted it to. So I'm glad that the people who watched it got good vibes out of it, if nothing else. She likes a gold, rutile, and amethyst. Well, that checks out. Oyster and shell and the color blue-gray. I wanted to read that as Blu-ray. Bolts, cages, and blue peafowls for their enormous fantails. Giant jaguars for their spotted coats and the sound of the adorable satin and the sight of the droplets of glitter, and when possible prefers to consume rambutan wine and peas and garlic bulbs, and absolutely hates fire snakes for their burning. Quite likes her life, generally. She didn't feel anything due to inebriation. What? Huh. Whoa. That's kind of wild. The first hour was real difficult, but it's getting easier. I'm just taking my hand off the keyboard while we're unpaused. Well, damn. What are you doing over here? Merlin. When all other bonds wither, friendship. I do admire a clever trap. Cog engraved a long six-sided prism. An exceptionally designed image of Fath, the dwarf and dwarves by Cog. Fath is surrounded by the dwarves. The orc relates to the appointment of Fath as manager. An image of dwarves and dwarves. The artwork relates to the visit of merchants from the work of spray to the ocean of ashes. So it's trading, basically. Let's see how things is going down here. Let's increase the priority on this slightly. Let's go up to 3. And I'll also go down to here. Do that. Doing a little bit of prospecting before I go too much deeper. Good typeface choice. Glad you like it. Although YouTube kind of screwed that video a little bit, which I was talking about earlier today with this. Sorry if you hear my voice in the background. There it is. Done. Which is this. If you actually look at the site and you hold your mouse over it, It just shows the thumbnail for this video behind it, and there's no way to edit that. This video has a horrible click-through rating. It kind of blows, so I'm going to have to edit a chunk out of it because of that, which I'm not thrilled about. But, you know, it is what it is. There unfortunately isn't too much I can do aside from just editing a chunk out of it. It also, like, I think this might be because of me, like, blurting out at the end of the video to say bonk, which was something I came up with at, like, 11:30 at night, right before I pressed render on the first video. But the first video got more comments in the first day than Gortusk has right now, which is why I posted the thing reminding people to comment, because it's like, I think largely the reason that video succeeded so much is because of how much insane interaction it got right off the bat. It's another image of the expedition leader. And then, wow, you engrave really quickly. And now I'm in a proper ad break, so I have to pause. I mean, it doesn't suck. The video did do well. That's the reality. It did well. But, like, it did the minimum of what I needed to do to be considered a success in my mind. Because of how much work I have to put into those videos. The other one was like times 5 my expectations. So, you know, I guess you win some, you lose some, right? But like, it's been an interesting learning experience of like me staring at it and going, okay, how can I make this better next time? How can I make it more YouTube-y, I guess? Because if I'm going to put 60 plus hours into editing a video, it has to succeed, right? Yeah, well, I mean, that's my most successful video ever, really. Even though it's not my highest viewed, the cursed video, which is Godly Tombs, even though it's not my most viewed, it is my most successful video ever. Mistakes make you stronger? Mistakes make you jaded. But I like that take. But, you know, you're currently witnessing a fort that's going to become another one of those videos, right? Except this one is just going to be like a single-person character study, wherever he is. There he is. He's currently serving wine to people. I saw Merlin Buff tell this story, I'm just going to pause because I want to see this, of Fath Archnulls to the position of manager of the Ocean of Ashes. So they're talking about the current fortress. So he's hearing cool stories being told. How do mistakes make you jaded? As it makes you blame the system. Maybe that's just a sign of my own immaturity. The thing is, like, mistakes are often arbitrary in YouTube. So, like, you can make the greatest video ever and YouTube just decides to not like it. And nobody will see it. Like, I'm blaming the click-through rating on the thumbnail problem, which I noticed today, 7 days after the video went up, right? So that makes me blame YouTube, but it also, I guess, teaches me the lesson that I shouldn't do that again, but I'm now just kind of mad at YouTube for deciding to make the preview the thumbnail of the video I uploaded previously, which is frustrating. What's the thumbnail issue? I'll show it again. And I'll set it to dark mode so I don't blind the 2 complainers of you out there. All right, so when you hover over a video, it gives you a preview, right? When you hover over this video, it actually ironically shows Gortusk. And it's usually from the first 5 minutes, and it's a thing that YouTube decides would be interesting to look at, that YouTube's algorithm thinks would be cool, that YouTube think would get you clicks, which sometimes is true and sometimes is not. This one shows the thumbnail from the previous video. It's not a hot take. It's an accessibility feature, light mode. So is dark mode. It's just people who use light mode don't, like, bash dark mode users generally. So, yeah. And as a light mode user, the vast majority of the time, I get tired of people telling me it's bad. So that's the thumbnail issue. And like I said, I just didn't notice until the other day. All right, so we found cherry opals and onyxes. I should probably hotkey this map. Got a couple more beds in there. Almost feel like I should import wood. Which I do in many forts. A dwarf is a location? I don't think so. I think it's just... Yeah, no. I mean... Try that again. I clicked the wrong button. Yeah, no, this is... It'll just hotkey the fortress location. So we'll just let them dig around in here for a wee bit. This hasn't started yet, but that'll start next. Actually not sure. Yeah, most of the elves have been exterminated by the goblins. Yeah, like this is an elvish faction down here that's like almost completely gone, with the exception of this one. And they have a book called My Friend Club, which I would assume means they're not very friendly. I mean, they are a member of the Jaw of Outrage, so I would think that maybe we should not. But like, what I'm thinking we should do actually is just explore some locations, but I'm not going to send my military anywhere until I've, you know. Also, apparently, Gortusk are our allies. Huh. We are allied with Gortusk. That's pretty dope, actually. Not Fire Orb, though. Also, Fire Orb has 2,000 people in it. Gortusk has 600. Damn. Things have gone well, I suppose. I wonder... No, it's not. I was gonna say, I could totally take over this labyrinth. Because there is nobody there. Yep, Gortusk's cult has definitely won. That much is for sure. So once we do that, then I can go around the rest of this, because all the way down to here just needs to be floored. And then I can extend this area and use it as crafting. Yes, that was the one where you were executed via volcano. It is even featured in the video as me saying, throwing things... We've been testing a method of throwing things that don't matter into the volcano, and it's been quite successful. Which is true. That is what we were doing. Yes, definitely. All right, so there isn't too much I can do at this exact moment, aside from like harvest stuff, which I should really start gardening. I should really start gardening. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dig priority number 1 up here and over here. Dig out this with a ramp up to right there. Priority number 1. And then I'm going to also go along the top of here to here. And then I'm just going to make these all dump zones, and we're just going to start dumping water there and start farming there because I really need to do that. And I keep forgetting. And we're going to start running into problems if I don't do that. I don't know. Did you watch the Gortusk video? Because you're definitely in there. Not yet? About to, though? Okay, well, got something to do this weekend. Also, just as a reminder, chat, I will not be streaming this weekend or this Friday because I need to get caught up on Dwarf Fortress news and Future of the Fortress, and I've been exhausted post-PAX. So I'm just trying to function through the PAX, post-PAX exhaustion. So there won't be a stream tomorrow because I'm, like I said, gonna have to get caught up on videos. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going camping on Saturday. I'm going for a one-night camp trip with my friend and my sister and her husband. So, yeah. Is the main character going to be nobility? If we end up with that option, probably. Either that or, like, Captain of the Guard or something. Because he wants to fight pretty bad. So that, to me, reads like Captain of the Guard. Maybe slow descent into insanity. I don't know. We'll see. Already made an artifact, though, which is kind of crazy. I also need to check my leather status, how much leather we have, because clothing is starting to wear down. Are we in a dirt boat? Rock boat. Don't rock the boat. New fort, same world. Yes. And, oh crap. And I missed the, that's fine. We can clear through until the 5th. I'm not in as much panic to pause constantly now because we are no longer trying to dig through an aquifer. We found petrified wood, though. That's a good color. You're more than welcome to tip the boat if you want to throw money directly at Monitor. Store item in stockpile. Probably wood. From the looks of things, probably wood. Does not mind being outdoors still, so that's good. It is raining, though. Is it a nice boat? No, it's not made out of nice. It's made out of shale. It's a shale boat. Someone's cave adapted. Satisfied remembering improving appraisal and happy after making an artifact. The nice thing about this dwarf, though, is the fact that he's now a legendary engraver and also our only engraver. He can just make masterworks like nobody's business, which is pretty awesome, actually. We're going to sail with this shale. Got it. Not without cheating, no. Comfy boy. Cheating is 100% required to do that. To see how deep or wide an aquifer is before touching it. What artifact did our hero make? A instrument, which hasn't been put in the tavern, and he's refusing to haul it around even though I made it into his symbol. Which I'm a wee bit bothered by. I get it, it's a large instrument, but I also don't think I can place it. No, I can't. So, yeah, it just got stuck in this stockpile. Let's double check where it is. I'm going to have to put it on a pedestal or something. Because I was kind of hoping he'd carry it around, but I guess not. Oh no, okay, it did end up in the tavern. Maybe that's why he's not carrying it around? I'll just put it on a pedestal. Is it a grand piano? No, I mean, it is handheld, but it's described as a large handheld ceramic musical instrument, which is sort of accordion-like with like a harp. It's kind of like a piano accord, like a handheld piano, basically. All right, let's follow our dwarf. Actually, hold on. Go up to here and do this. Water, pit pond. That's what I need. And let's go to Cog, who's preparing raw fish still. Rumors of our fish supply grows. Only weighs 9. I mean, okay. It's not particularly heavy. Still, I wish he'd carry it around. I don't know. I'll put it on a pedestal. He may also just not be carrying it because it is, you know, locked in the tavern, right? So it's possible he could go grab it to play an instrument, but then someone else could grab it and steal it. It's like an auto harp, which is basically a piano. Not if you make an artifact a symbol of somebody, that's not theft. Did you just drink water? Oh no, he's filling stuff from a pond. Okay. I was like, did you just drink water? It's like, I realize booze is low, but come on. I have to go harvest more plants from outside. That's the problem. That's plenty. I'm just going to harvest a bunch of plants. Go down to here and do this. Farming plant. That'll do. And then I will just dig around all this nonsense. I don't know what cancellation issues you are. Bins might be contributing. Do bins cause cancellation issues by default? No. Bins have largely been fixed, but there's a lot of superstition around bins still causing issues because they used to cause a lot of issues. You need to remember that Dwarf Fortress is a game that's been around long enough that people will just say that issues still exist when they haven't been an issue in a decade. Granted, it hasn't been that long, but the last time bins were a large concern in Dwarf Fort was, I don't know, better part of 5 years ago. So it's been a while. A lot of the problems have been fixed. But I don't know what your cancellation problem is. So bins might be contributing, but because if you have, like, say, bags with seeds in them and those seeds are in bins, yeah, that'll cause cancellation issues. But that's a setup problem, not a problem with bins. Which can be fixed by the player. Okay. But that's just such a general question, I can't really give you a direct answer. Where's this petrified wood? There we go. It's one of my favorite material types. Just looks so goddamn good. Okay, nothing interesting down here in the granite, which I will extend. And also extend. I'm gonna go up to here again. And extend this. It certainly can if the seeds are mixed. Because the way barrels work is things are stacked vertically, so only the thing that was put in at the top can be removed. So simply put, if you have 10 bags with different kinds of seeds and they're trying to get the plump helmet seeds, which are underneath alfalfa seeds, fisherberry seeds, cave wheat seeds, and dimple cup seeds, they can't get to those. And that's the setting by default. You can change it to not mix food types, which sorts that, but I just don't use barrels because I mix food types. It depends on the song, Havoc. Some songs require a certain number of instruments, and if they require a certain number of instruments, then they need that number of instruments to play that song. If the song requires one, then it only needs one, so it depends on the song. But I was hoping that the dwarf would just walk around with said instrument, but what was I going to do here? I also need to find dwarves that'll be good in the military at some point. Yep, that's what I do too. Made of wood. Speaking of being made of wood, we need more plants. Not really related to wood, but we finally hit the number of dwarves where we're eating through our supply before we get to what we need. So you don't end up walking as far. Also, I think I can connect this one. Nope, never mind. He's moved. Oh, okay, no, now we can. What was I going to do here? Magma. Well, we're kind of far away from magma right now. I could get to it a lot quicker now. How am I doing today? Sweating. How are you? It's warm in here today. It's like 31 degrees outside or something. But Fort's going pretty good. This challenge is weird, gameplay-wise, but I'm enjoying it. I think chat's enjoying it. Okay. Honestly, though, reflexive answers to rhetorical questions are often the best types of answers to questions. I'm also just trying to dig this way because I think iron is in the ocean biome. And once they're done doing all this prospecting, we're going to set this to priority 5, and they're just going to dig down. We're going to go down to layer 60. So you're looking for exclamation point Gorlak. Watching old VODs? Gotcha. What VODs are you currently watching? I think Chad already answered the question. But simply put, I'm only allowed to pause the game on the 5s and 10s. And if the game is unpaused, then I am... Oops, actually, this needs to be priority number 1 so I can build this up. And if the game is unpaused, I'm only allowed to follow one dwarf, which is this dwarf. So all non-following this dwarf activity is done while the game is paused on the 5s and 10s. Meaning if we get attacked, shit's going to be interesting. who's currently 148 years old. So he could just die of old age in 3 years. I should put it in the title, actually. AI 2097. This should make Forgotten Beasts a real treat to deal with. Or any kind of attacks, because I won't know where the army is. And I won't know how my squads are doing. It also made digging through a light aquifer a pain in the ass. Like, a royal pain in the ass. Yep, okay. I was going to try and plop a pedestal while he was sleeping, but... Okay, there we go. We're getting some drinks brewed, which is good. We're not going to die of thirst now. What if he dies? We've got a few options. I mean, we could, if his wife arrives, we could go to next of kin. We could also follow a ghost, or it just ends the fort. I'm currently leaning the fort ends if he dies. It might be anticlimactic for a video, though. You've never used a burrow defense order? I have. It's been a while. But yeah, no, I mean, the idea of this is just to create a fort that is interesting to play. And also a fort that will force me to learn mechanics that I tend to ignore. And we're making the tavern bigger, so maybe we'll get dances. Because right now I think it's a little small. Did I run out of blocks? Oh, I see. They're just not accessible. I get it. Like, there's no way I ran out of blocks. Wow. I think I did. Yeah, that's impressive. All right, let's start making blocks again. Is it inaccessible because I blocked them? Should really just automate those instead of turning them on and off manually, but... The problem with ghosts is they only appear... They appear and disappear for a while, but we could wait for a ghost to appear and just let the fort idle without any control or something. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that because it... 1, ghosts aren't guaranteed to appear. 2, ghosts aren't present all the time. 3, they appear and disappear, which breaks following. So, would it be funny as hell? Maybe for a little bit. But I think it would get old pretty quick. Don't shale away. Don't shale away. Don't... No, wait, no, it would be come shale away, right? Come shale away. Come shale away. Come shale away with me. Apparently we've found more petrified wood, so... Petrified, he's nuts. Dear Dwarf, you are supposed to use the 1 wheelbarrow for this. Instead of him manually hauling this. But where beast attacks this fort's over? Not necessarily. Because I'm working on getting levers to close the door on every floor. So this will close the front door right now. But where beast attack would be vile, yes. Come on, Dwarf. There's a wheelbarrow on this stockpile for a reason. Also, some migrants have arrived. And I won't know who they are until the 25th. But we're at the point now where we can get attacked, and we are at war with several factions, so, like, it's not going to be boring, I can tell you that. 45, 46, we're about to get a mayor. Wouldn't it be fun if we got elected mayor? Come on, cog ton portals. Tongue portals, not ton portals. Should probably go through and just queue up 10 military dwarves. Let me just do this real quick. Masterwork. Someday. It's also an untamed wild biome, so we could get attacked by giant animals. I've just been very careful to not tempt them. If that makes any sense. Oh shit, you're a hammer dwarf. You're anxious, though. Doesn't care if others take the time to master skills. How about you? Finds artwork boring. Prefers a peaceful existence. God damn it. How about you cut a piece of its existence off of your enemies? Very comfortable around others that appear unusual. Values introspection. Deeply values eloquent speakers. Values cunning and peace over war. Person respects the law and values sacrifice. Ooh, we're getting somewhere. I am in an ad break, so now's a good time for this. I also haven't found any metal yet, even though there is iron and gold on this map. Relentless drive and is completely consumed by ambition. Dreams of raising a family. You'd be okay, probably. What's your name? Nil. Got it. I'm going to toss these two in just because they're skilled already. I realize it's just a wrestling squad right now, but it's what I got. Your foes will be peaceful when they're dead. Does that work? Totally. I mean, I am kind of planning on trying to fight as little as possible, too. Purely because... oops, that's not the tool I wanted. This is the tool I wanted. Purely because if they fight... if we have to fight as little as possible, then it is more likely that we will survive. Because being able to watch is going to be a challenge. So I'm not going to do any shenanigans like I did in the last fort where I cranked up the number of invaders or anything. So this is going to be a stockpile purely for underground. Well, actually, let's just... that's fine. This is going to be a stockpile purely for underground seeds that I'm going to grow. So probably pigtails, cave wheat, plump helmet spawn, and let's say sweet pods as well, which I won't have most of those until I get to the caverns. And then also go into here. Remove the barrels. And then go to this stockpile and say... Okay, no food's in there. Good. And then go to this stockpile and say... Sweet pod. Pigtail. Plump helmet spawn. Cave wheat. Alright, so those should all get moved. And I'm going to make leather bag and leather shoe. I should have enough leather, but let's just double check. Yeah, we're good. And I have some bedrooms to finish. It's nice, much nicer to be able to safety hold up. I mean, I'm going to try and fight. I think otherwise this fort will get boring. But yeah, no, if something that I have to fight shows up, like something that ambushes us, that's going to be hair-raising. This is the polite way of putting it. And I'm going to need to make more bedrooms now. Guess I hit cancel instead of done. So let's see how many more bedrooms I need. It's not actually that many recent migrants. I mean, it's not a small number, but it's not a giant number. It's okay. Not too many more that I need to make, so that's good. I was going to make this into a crafting area back here, but maybe I should make this into a dormitory. No rock nuts? I literally never do rock nuts. Like, I could not tell you the last time I had rock nut production in one of my forts. It's not even that I have anything particularly against rock nuts. I just don't make them. Why? I just don't make oil, ever. Dwarf is eaten. What are we munching on? Camel brain? Roast. Lovely. Delicious. Suddenly there's a whole bunch of free space in my pots because everything's just getting moved into the farming area. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm like, I would need to, like, theme a fort specifically around rock nuts to make oil, and so, like, why? I don't know. You can make other things that are easier, that are less effort. It's just a smaller amount of effort for roughly the same payoff, so. I'm pretty sure everything is the same level of efficiency for farmers. Like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're all the same level of efficiency. We just found microcline. Plus, there's more angry clouds on the map. Yay, blue rock, exactly. You hate how many bags rock nut farming uses? Everything uses bags. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you why I don't do it. I just don't. I just don't. I should probably increase the number of alcohols we're making per alcohol's batch. Do you remove plump helmets from cooking? Because by default, plump helmets are set to be cooked. And cooking destroys seeds. So your seeds will vanish if you're allowing them to be cooked. Might be your issue. Slight possibility. Because of it, you started with the seeds and not the plants? Just disable cooking of them. I mean, it's not hard to do that. Let's see how the old digging's going. Guess we found some onyx opals down here. Oh, there's the microcline. You know, let's set this to 4, actually. They can cook plump helmets, yes. And cooking plump helmets destroys seeds. Or cooking anything destroys the seeds. Let's just run to the end. That's what I'll do, actually. Same with this side. It's like maybe worst case scenario, I could use these for a drain in the future. Also into late summer. What did they want to trade for? They want cut gems. Well, currently I'm not even cutting gems, so I think I'm going to set that up right now. And then let's go right here and just make a uncut gems stockpile. Rough gems. Also say cut stone. No, it's smooth stone, right? Polished stones is the job. And we'll make that Celestes dwarfs once it's available as an option. Yes, they can also cook alcohol by default, which I always disable. So you should probably disable that if you want to not randomly run out of booze because your dwarves cooked it. Which, like, for clarity, I cook with alcohol. You know, like wine, or like put some beer in a stew, like, or a marinade. Like, it makes sense. Like, I do that. However, it's kind of annoying when it's your lifeline in a video game. Although, chat, I can explain to you guys in like one sentence, by the way, why even if the videos don't do as well numbers-wise as I would like them to, I can show you why it's worth it. I'll just show it with a screenshot because it's easier. Why this style of videos is worth it, even if it turns out like not all of the videos succeed. This is my subscribers graph on YouTube. Guess where I started uploading this? It'll be worth it eventually. It goes from like, there's dozens of us to, yeah, okay, it's worth it. Like, even this video, which wasn't, as a whole, hasn't been as successful as the first one. Like, it's... No, shorts don't do shit. They don't get you subscribers. Shorts get you conversions into other shorts, which get you views. I think my most successful short ever got me like 40 subscribers. Now, this has got nothing to do with shorts. It's all Gore-Tusk and Godly Tombs. Cursed Map and Cult Fort. All those two forts. So I guess my wheelbarrows ain't working, eh? Like, come on. I'm just gonna take you off of hauling, but like, it is set, so they should be. There's a helicopter hovering above my house. Wonder who they're looking for. Any recent thoughts there, Dwarf? Thoughts or memories? Just your great bedroom back in the spring. No thoughts? No memories from the summer? Boring summer, I suppose. He does want to fight. Maybe I need to throw him into the military. They looking for booze? No, he's hauling. No, well, there is a short icon too, but it's got nothing to do with the short. Just because I released a short at the same time as a big video, it just decided to surface the short in the 90-day window. It's because YouTube's trying to become TikTok. I guarantee you if shorts took off and were way more successful than videos, YouTube would stop focusing on video and just convert directly to shorts. Cloud of eerie ash has appeared. My dwarves are all sparring. They're all just becoming wrestlers, but except for the two that have knives. Because I just don't have weapons right now. I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, me neither. Especially because, like, I don't see... I'm sure TikTok will still exist in 15 years. But it doesn't seem like the sort of style of content that'll stick around. But that might just be me being old. I don't know. Apart from those birds, I have some horses and stuff that are up on the surface, yeah. And apparently a goat. Should probably divvy those up. But it's mostly the geese and ducks. Oh crap, I missed the 20th. Damn it! So when I pause, I gotta finish up, or when I pause, I gotta check the digging zones and pen pasture animals. And I would queue up clothing, but I don't actually have enough for that to be a thing that I can do right now. Geese chowing down on some delicious cave floor mussels. Yeah, we could probably catch those. This doesn't pause, so I can make Tavern embiggened. Look at all the space for activities we have now. I would do leather clothing, but I don't actually think I have enough leather right now. Okay, looks like we may need to go deeper. Because I have not found anything else that's of note. Okay. Yeah, I've got 2 llamas apparently. But I'm mostly just butchering stuff. I might keep the llamas though, depending. But pretty soon we're going to have a bunch of plump helmet wine, which will be good. Oh shit, I've actually got a slightly upset dwarf. It's probably somebody who doesn't have a bedroom. Oh, of course it's one of the kids. Yeah, doesn't have a bedroom. It's probably the reason. So I guess these need to be updated. Because this is a boy baby dwarf. Oh no, you do have a beard. It's just very small. I assume they need to update the baby portraits at some point. So now that we have like baby and child sprites, for the next 6 months, you're going to see a group of people complaining that we need purring maggot leather glove. Wow. You're going to see people complaining that we need baby pictures for their faces. Looks about right. Beard's a bit big. But it is close. And then he got better? Did you arrest him for his crimes for the mood that he was in? Because I usually do that. But that's pretty intense, man. I really want to dig this deeper, but I kind of can't. Not safely anyway. Although, actually, what I could do is I could deconstruct this and then just channel through this. Let's also deconstruct this. And then just channel through this. Because that would spill the water into here, and then I could move the well into right here, which would actually, like, give me a well that isn't going to be muddy, which this one currently is. Because this bucket, whenever it gets used, is going to get mud in it. That'll give us a clean well, so that's probably wise. Oh, also I need to assign this to Celesty, which I think she's already working in. Yep, she was already working here, but now it's your full-time gig. So, there you go. Making cherry opals. Which aren't... Well, that's a shale cabochon. Well, which aren't super valuable, but they're not nothing. Alright, let's follow Cog. I like that he's constantly getting this remembrance. That's something that I didn't notice. I didn't realize that they remembered things that they accepted as often as they remembered things that they were angry about. Gizzard stones. It's from the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. It's a thing that builds up in a bird's gut. How do you get clean water? If it's underground, it needs to be 2 layers deep. They need to update portrait to show crowns and rings and, well, maybe not rings, and amulets and several other clothing types. It's not just crowns. Okay, it looks like all of the booze have been harvested. All right, I'm just going to rip you off of this. Anybody can do this. Artifact weapons now show. I don't know about clothing. At least in the current beta branch, and I'm presuming the closed beta branch, artifact weapons show on characters. If you actually notice in Gortusk at the end, the captain of the champion, which was Sideburns, he was wielding a artifact hammer, which was made of lead, which showed in the right color and showed up. However, a lot of the modifier items, so items like sleek metal or thin or bulky, or like a lot of the items, the stuff that humans can make, still doesn't have sprites. And same with a lot of the stuff that you find that's made of god metal in the basement. A lot of that stuff still doesn't have sprites. But artifacts now show up. Same with bismuth bronze, which didn't for a while. All of that stuff's coming in alongside of the adventure mode stuff with time. I really wish this dwarf would hang out further this way. Bismuth is also like another thing that I didn't realize didn't show up until very recently because I just don't ever use bismuth. How's your friend count doing? He's friends with Moral, Reg, Telenartho, Still, Muthcat. It's just kind of a hole in the tavern. Oh, you use it for floors? Got it. Yeah, because I play on sparse materials, metal is too valuable to use as floors usually. And also, I'm going to need to do lava forging because currently charcoal is even hard to come by. Would you look at that? It's not the 5th yet, shit. There we go. I can pause. Look what we found. In the Gabbro walls deep below, we have found tetrahedrite. Guess that's it that we've found so far, but yeah, but I would never have enough materials for that to be a thing that I could even consider doing. Is I guess what I'm saying. Is there a way to predict ore locations? Not without cheating. I'm just gonna go right here and just gonna place these here so that these pieces get moved. How's my boy Cog doing right now? Well, I just tabbed away from him. We'll be tabbing back to him momentarily. Currently, I'm rebuilding my well to be cleaner. I might end up building a hospital around it. Because I'll have enough space, probably. Because the well's going to go right here. But we'll be jumping back to COG momentarily. So this one doesn't have a door? I do not have a hospital. I do not have a hospital, and I said maybe hospital in the future, not likely in the nearing moments, but yeah, I have no idea who would be the doctor. Any mod to suggest. Don't use mods. This game doesn't need it. Sorry, I'm the wrong person to ask. Mods just change the names of things and add more variety, which is just add more things that do the same things already. So it doesn't actually change the game enough to be interesting to me, generally. Keep digging over the ocean to over the ocean floor. What? Havoc? Excuse me. But yeah, I am genuinely the wrong person to ask when it comes to, like, what mods should I use. The only mods I play with ever are total overhaul mods, but none of them have been updated to a satisfactory level from older versions. I know a lot of them are being updated and are in the process of being updated, but I'm not going to play them until they have full tile sets, basically, because simply put, I play this game for a living, and if I'm playing the game in a format that a lot of people don't watch, then it's harder for me to stream it. And a lot of these total overhaul mods basically require custom tile sets, and or if they don't require custom tile sets, then they do generally require ASCII. And I'm not going to stream in ASCII because I would prefer to play the game in a format that the majority of my audience can watch. If I didn't play this game for a living, I'd probably have done playthroughs of a lot of those mods. But because they need full tile sets for them to be they're already effectively playable, but optimally playable. So, because I don't have a doctor and I don't know who the doctor will be, do you have a second choice, Bone Dolphin? Before I unpause. I do not have a hospital and I don't know who's going to be a doctor. What I could do is this. I could approximately guess, but I really don't want to do this. So, because I have to do all of this and this ruins my history. I could give you Reg or Moral, but I'm not going to assign one to see who else has skills, because I'm not going to assign one. But they're also both in the military, so they're also probably neither of them are going to get it. Yes. Is the answer to that question, UGDPY. The adventurer is retired, and the blockade skeleton is in his backpack, and the shield is equipped. So, yes. No, it's too far. Well, they're very unlikely to become the chief medical dwarf, but they'll probably have a doctor's role at some point. So if you're okay with this, I can do this. Bone Dolphin. She would never under any circumstances speak up or otherwise put forth her point of view in a discussion. She has an overinflated sense of self-worth and is very easily falls in love and develops negative feelings, always is tense and jittery, and generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity, is generally quite confident in her abilities when undertaking specific ventures and doesn't seek out excitement. She is not often lustful, and she tends to avoid crowds. She is quite polite, and she isn't particularly curious about the world. She can sometimes act without deliberation and is slow to trust others, is not particularly interested in what others think of her. And when she becomes exasperated, she begins to speak very deliberately, and she needs alcohol to get through the working day, and likes working outdoors and only grumbles mildly at bad weather. She personally values hard work and tradition and does not really care about friendship and dreams of creating a great work of art. And she likes fine pewter and shell opal and common snapping turtle shell and the color pearl. Mules, for their stubbornness and the sight of the intricacy of glittering, and when possible prefers to consume brook lamprey and spelt beer and whip vine. And absolutely hates blood gnats. She's in love with Stylianitis, who's also in the military, which is why she's in the military, so she can spend time with her lover and is satisfied learning the military stuff. She has modest quarters. She is a proficient diagnoser, but hasn't needed to use those skills. Proficient speaker, teacher, and negotiator. She is a member of the Dead Communion, which is the cult from the last fort. And top fighting and is proud. There you go. But yeah, I would say, like, if you want mods, chat's probably the better place to go to. Because the other reason I don't use mods, and this is also a coincidence of my employment, is I'm kind of known for tutorials for this game. So if people pop in and ask me for something or advice on something or help for something, and I'm using, like, let's just say 5 mods that make things look different, and then I'm just like, yeah, it's easy, you just do this, and then I can't do a one-to-one example of what their game would look like. That's kind of just mostly an excuse, but it is a legitimate concern that I have. You two hate Blood Nats? What's there to hate? Now, Blood Natty Light, on that I hate. It's not a very good beer. Could just do so much better than that, than Blood Natty Light. Just realized this is actually screwed up. Although I have been tempted to mod the game myself to change the color of Obsidian, because I think it's way too goddamn dark. I'm in an ad, so I will pause fully. There's one that hides embark location details. Fuck me, I feel that, man. So, I don't even know if Made of Wood's in an ad right now. They probably aren't because they have the turbo badge, but if the older versions of the game did not show you what kinds of metal were in an embark site, it just said some metals, lots of metals, deep metals, or shallow metals. It would give you an approximate idea of where the metals were. And there was a very loud group of people in the player base that hated this. And we're like, bad mechanic, we just cheat to see what kind of metal's there. And I'm convinced they were the minority, because everybody that I knew that played the game, when that got changed for this version, was like, why'd you take that away? And I still feel that way. Also, if you guys want to help out the Gortusk video, go pop up that link right there to that video and leave a comment on it. Just comment in response to other people's comments. Try and get some conversations going. Because I will be editing it soon to remove the thumbnail problem. But, you know, if you want to help it, that'd be cool. Let's go back to Cog and follow him as the alcohol portions drop. And also while he's sleeping, I'm just going to quickly do this. Thunk. I would almost say don't bother, because that's really high on Putnam's list of things to fix. TVid. All I'm saying is if it's a lot of work to do something like that, it probably is going to be obsolete in the next 8 months. Because that is the menu that Putnam is currently working on redoing. She's adding folders, and there was something else. It's folders, search bars, better like click drag, organization, saving, and a few other things. Cogby looking happy? Certainly not the least happy dwarf in the fort, yeah. I didn't actually look at where his smiley's at, but... It's so much more hitting Orvane if you don't know it's going to be there. No, I agree. I mean, there's two mechanics that I think were changed by a loud minority of players who are active on the forums for this version. And that is this stone on this level just being gray instead of being the color of the stone that it is. So this should be like a dark brown color, right? It should be shale color instead of like that. It used to be that way, but people apparently would get annoyed at their forts not looking perfect all the time. So that was changed. And then the other one that got, actually, I should move the well down to here anyway. And then the other one that was changed was, the metals one. And I'm convinced both of those are like mechanics that were changed by a minority of players and not the majority. But anyway, because they were complained about by a minority of players for a very long time. Okay, this area is clear. So I'm just going to go down to here and dig into this and dig into this. Clear these out, clear these out, clear these out, and then dig through here and just let it flow into here. I greatly miss colored stone floors. Like, the reason I miss colored stone floors was you were rewarded by making constructed floors, right? It should be a setting. I mean, it's still the case in ASCII, right? Like, yeah. If I go down to this area and then fly down, pretty sure it's still the case. Of course, I'm like seeing a bunch of stones that are all the same color in ASCII. Well, maybe it's not actually. Shit. Well, wow. Gross. Lemonite? Is that not? Okay. Is that not a special thing if you mine through it? I thought it was. Okay, we desperately need drinks. Desperately. Desperately, desperately, desperately. Okay. It is still a rarer material that you don't find as often. Is that what Lemonite is? Ilmenite? I-L? I don't think that's iron, is it? I know tetrahedrite isn't. That's what I thought. I thought it was just like a rare rock type. Less common rock type. Let's go down a little further than that. I meant to hold shift. Let's go down to layer 90. But not in game. Okay. Got it. There's also marble up here. So I have found flux. Fortunately, we are burrowing plump helmets. So there is that. How you doing, Patolus? I knew who it was when I heard the honking. Screwed up one side of this. I can fix the lower layers, though. It's fine. Easy enough to fix. Do this on priority number 1. Okay. All right, let's follow Cog. How? What? Dude. This should be a wheelbarrow. Well, if you go upstairs, I'm gonna snipe the this sucker. I guess we're gonna go harvest. Seems like it. Getting us more plants for drinks. Still wants to acquire things. Clothing's getting a little worse. You did get new shoes, though, which I totally missed. My cousin hasn't streamed in like 3 years, so no. I think he's done. I talked to him about it briefly at Christmas, and he just kind of shook his head. I think his girlfriend told him to stop. And a caravan has arrived, so we can begin that process on the 13th. I don't think you're ever going to get a stream from my cousin again. I'm sorry. Buy all the alcohol? Yeah, probably. Probably not a bad idea. We're going to bring these shale cabochons, these gizzard stones, and a good chunk of these cherry opals over. I'm also going to do bracelets because we got a couple of those. Got a couple of those. And got a crown that I can sell. How about rings? Earrings? Decent number of those. And I feel like we've talked about this before, Tolas, so... Also, you follow him, so wouldn't you know if he'd streamed recently? It is what it is. I mean, people get into this as a hobby, hoping for more, and get out of it because they don't get what they're hoping for. And you shouldn't be surprised by that, because it happens. Especially channels that don't get any real runaway success often are the ones that fall victim to such things. And he didn't have any runaway success. That and he's kind of like, I like my cousin, he's a good dude, but he kind of set himself up for long-term disappointment because